episode 72 of the Game Sharks podcast, where we talk about our favorite thing in the world, parenthood. I'm a dad, kind
Did you ever
of.
play that
Kind
game?
of.
There's a game called Parenthood.
I don't know.
It's called
There's a show.
I
Octodad.
know that. I think there's
Octodad.
a show called Parenthood or something.
There
Anyways,
is a show
Allison and
called
I
Parenthood.
are foster parents now. We have a little girl in our house. She came last week. That's why I wasn't on the podcast last week. And that's about all I can say. But she's great. And I'm tired all the time now.
If it makes you feel any better, Jeff, I have no plans to have kids of any kind, and I'm already tired all the time.
So just imagine how tired I am.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I got my second vaccine shot yesterday. And that,
Oh boy.
that kicked my ass. I stayed home from work
Yeah.
today because I could barely lift my left arm. So, that wouldn't have gone well. But yeah, anyways, exciting times here at the Ferrara household. And video games. Joining me
But
today,
in video games.
we have Adam,
Hi.
Derek,
Hello.
Andrew,
Hello.
and Jose.
Hey.
And today's episode, our main topic is a backlog power hour, which is our book club. We are talking about Knights of the Old Republic. Jose is here because it is one of his favorite games ever. He's played through it several times.
He also replayed it for this.
He did replay it
Yes,
for this
sir.
episode. The rest of us have played it for the first time, so it's going to be a very interesting discussion later on in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. But let's start with how we always do. We got some news, incredibly light news week. I only have a couple tabs open here, and they're all non-stories. So I guess we'll get right into
Yeah.
it. It won't be very long. First up, the PlayStation has revealed a new red and a new black PlayStation 5 DualSense controller.
They look pretty cool.
They do look pretty cool.
I'm heavily debating getting one of them, and the only reason I'll never play my PS5 with anyone else. So, I'm the only one that plays that console, so I don't need two controllers. The only reason I want to do it is because the bottom of my white controller is already covered in dirt and is disgusting looking. So I don't know if that guys happens to you, but I guess I have gross dirty hands.
I haven't looked at mine.
Yeah, mine's a little dirty.
Yeah,
Probably.
you get that
White
little
is
bit of
good.
brown going on it.
Yeah.
I already bought a red one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. I think
I really like the red. That looks really
The red
nice.
one looks
And if I had
really
a
slick.
PS5.
The red one is also like $10 more expensive.
It is. I did
Really?
see that. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it's 74. It's $5 more expensive. It's $74.99, and the black one
Okay.
is $69.99, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah. I did see a funny tweet though about it. PlayStation releases new controller options for the console you still can't buy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I might bite the bullet and buy this just because I hate owning white things. I'm a messy person. My wife is an even more messy person, and now that we have a small child in our house, nothing is clean in my life anymore. So I'm heavily considering picking one of those
Yeah.
up.
I hear you on the white. It looks cool, but you can see everything on it.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should just wash your hands.
I do. I'm just a
Even
naturally
then,
gross
it's
person. It just
Wear
happens.
gloves.
I'm a very sweaty person. I'm not wearing gloves while I play my games. Derek, are you considering picking one of these up? Gonna wait for another color?
They look really cool. I like the black one. I've always been a fan of the black controller.
Imagine if they do this with like a forest green.
That's
That'd
what
be- that'd
that's
look
the other
nice.
thing. Is I'm waiting. Do I just wait for a color that I like more? Because it's I'm the only one that sees the controller right now. It's just in the drawer all the time. So
Yeah.
Until I'm using it, it's more so just for me and my mental hatred of it.
I don't know what color I would want, so I guess maybe I won't buy it. in
Give me like
case
a-
Eventually, they release the color I want.
My ideal color would be like a magenta, like a dark magenta.
I could go for like a royal blue or like a forest green.
What about like a
I was
Game
thinking
Sharks
blue.
purple?
A Game Sharks
Game
purple would
Sharks
probably look
purple.
terrible.
Maybe just a purple, maybe not our purple.
Our purple looks good.
That's nice.
But anyways, yeah, cool stuff that they're actually doing this. Xbox has been doing it for forever now.
Yeah.
They have that
Yeah.
whole website where you can just build your own custom Xbox controller, and that's on top of, or not even including the Elite series, which I'm still debating getting one of those when they inevitably come back in stock. They're all sold out everywhere, but what are you gonna do?
The funniest part about it to me is that it still costs less than a Joy-Con.
Yeah, right. Or a pair of Joy-Cons.
A pair
Yeah,
of Joy-Con.
Which is ridiculous because
Yeah.
Joy-Cons are the fucking cheapest, like most easily breakable plastic controllers.
They're pretty crazy technology stuffed into a very small compartment, and I think that's
Yeah,
why they're so
they
expensive.
break so easy.
It's just the drift, the only thing that gives.
I know.
But-
and like every controller nowadays
Yeah.
is eventually suspect to drift.
Sure.
It just
But-
happens.
It still feels weird to me.
Oh yeah, it still sucks, but
All right, let's keep talking about Sony. They are expecting PS5 shortages to continue into the next year. Basically, it was a report from Bloomberg. Sony has spoken to a group of analysts about the supply constraint issues affecting the PS5 and said that it will continue into 2022. Yeah, this is from Hiroki Totoki? From Sony. He said, I don't think demand is calming down this year, and even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PlayStation 5 next year, our supply wouldn't be able to catch up with demand. I think this is it goes towards that whole thing that I've been saying. I think I've said it on the podcast before. Every time Sony or Microsoft right now are like, oh, we've sold this many units and it's the best selling console ever. It's like, that doesn't matter to me because you are selling every single one you make. I care about those numbers once it starts slowing down. You know,
Once you can actually, wander into a Walmart and say, "Oh, hey, look, a PS5."
exactly. So it's like, it's not an impressive. It is still an impressive metric. The fact that they are still selling every single one they make, but it's like, stop gloating about numbers until things calm down a bit, till they're in stock
Yeah.
regularly. I don't know. That might just be my opinion on it.
I mean, couldn't you say they're not in stock because they're selling so quickly?
Yeah.
You know?
I'd also be interested in knowing, like, if there was a way to figure this out, like how many of those sales are from bots buying up as many as they can.
I thought
How
I think I
many are
saw-
scalpers?
I saw a metric earlier, and I want to say it says something about like it's confirmed that, like, I can't remember how it was figured out, but it was like 124,000 of those sales were from bots, from scalpers.
124,000.
Yeah, or that might be the amount of. Oh, man, where was it? I don't know where it was, but it was either like that's the number of PlayStation 5s that have been sold through scalping.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, not like total how many were purchased by scalpers, but like
Mhm.
how many have been sold through scalping or something like
Gotcha.
that. I wish I could find that article. Again.
And gotta hate scalpers.
Yeah, friendly reminder,
Yeah.
if the entire world agrees to stop buying from scalpers, scalpers will stop scalping. But, people be crazy.
Will they?
Yeah, because if they buy stuff and no one buys it from them, they lose money, and then they can't do it anymore.
But
But you need everyone in the world to agree to not buy from a scalper, but that will literally never happen.
But Jeff, wouldn't you like to have 11 PlayStation 5s?
I'm just saying they'll lose thousands and thousands of dollars if everyone can just agree to not engage in their game.
It's true. Yeah, but I definitely agree with what you said though, Jeff. With how it's pretty meaningless to say your console is fastest selling. Like, it's just, that's less of a gloat and more of an observation, because like, of course your console is fastest selling if like every person who owns a PlayStation 4 is going to upgrade to a PlayStation 5 anyway.
Plus,
and
there are newer.
you haven't made as many PlayStation 5s as there are PlayStation 4 users, so do the math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strange circumstances too. Like if there wasn't a shortage on the parts, would these metrics be the same, or would they be anywhere near comparable? Hard to tell.
Yeah. Also, I did read Nintendo is also citing that they are expecting more shortages for the Nintendo Switch going forward, which is another reason why the Nintendo Switch Pro will not be coming out anytime soon, because they
Just
physically can't build
because-
them.
there are shortages doesn't mean they can't make them. It just means they can't make as many of them.
They can't.
There's shortages for the original Switch because they're using those parts in the Switch Pro.
You guys are insane. Stop feeding into
I
the Switch
don't.
agenda.
I didn't
Switch
believe
Pro
a word
agenda.
of that, Jeff. I just
Devil's
like to stir the
advocate.
pot.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, expect. Oh, my chair just gave out. Let me just fix that. Expect shortages. I'm pretty sure Xbox is in the same boat too. They haven't said anything publicly about it, but there are semiconductor shortages across the entire industry. So it's hard
Yes.
to build hardware these days. So expect supply shortages through 2022. So our buddy Dante sent us a message. He was a big Yakuza Like a Dragon fan. I think he's just a big Yakuza fan as a whole. And he sent us a thing. He's like, what did he say? He's like, here's some news for you. Like a Dragon was the best-selling Yakuza ever. And then I was like, well, here's some news for you, because I don't know if
Rightfully so.
I don't know if he knew this, but the Yakuza series will continue to be a turn-based game going forward. So because it sold so well, because it was so critically well received, they decided that the mainline Yakuza games will continue to be a turn-based JRPG like a Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, why stray from it?
I think it's definitely cool. The Yakuza, the Like a Dragon combat system was one of the most, I think, refreshing and unique takes on a turn-based JRPG system. Especially like I said a lot before, the way it kind of incorporates the environment and how your positioning matters compared to your enemies and your allies. The one thing that I hope this means is that we get at least one more game with Ichiban as the protagonist, because Ichiban is one of the best video game protagonists of all time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ichiban again in the future.
I really hope so. The tricky thing about the Yakuza story is, like, he spends 19 years in prison. So, like, he's already in his 40s when you play as him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like unless events happen, directly after the end of Like a Dragon, then it's like,
You could
what are
also
you
go
gonna be
back
playing
to
as like a 55-year-old Ichiban,
You could go back to before all the events of Like a Dragon 2.
like during his childhood,
Yeah. Or like at the beginning of him being in the Yakuza. I don't know. There's stuff there.
maybe. I don't know. People like the original protagonists too. Derek, you've played one of the older Yakuza, right?
Yeah, I've played 2 hours of Yakuza 0.
That's some. That's a little bit.
Yeah, that's the sum of the game. I plan to finish that eventually.
I do want to go back to Like a
Someday.
Dragon at some point. I really did like playing it. It came out at a time where there was so much to play for Game of the Year, and I didn't end up going back to it. But if there's ever a lull in this year, I would like to go back and play more of it for sure.
Yeah.
And they also announced that the Judgment series is now going to be basically what the old Yakuza games were, the action-based combat games.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were a fan of the traditional older style of Yakuza games, they will still exist just through this other series. So, pretty cool stuff. I know, Andrew, you're excited. I'm pretty excited. It's cool to see. Because
I definitely I feel like I have to give the Judgment series a try now, because like I definitely want to, like, I've never played a not turn-based Yakuza game, so I want to at least know how it is. And I hear the original Judgment is pretty cool.
most
yeah,
of the original,
I think a lot of people like Judgment.
most of the original Yakuza games are on Game Pass right now.
Yeah.
So you can try them out.
All of them, I think,
They're
at this
all-
point.
they're all there now?
Except maybe 7 and Judgment.
That's why I said most.
But like the mainline games, all
Yeah.
but
I'll just do a series on it after I'm done with Assassin's Creed.
It's never gonna end.
I know.
All right, last piece
There's
of news.
too many games, man.
Too many games. Last piece of news. This one was exciting for me. Have any of you ever played any of the Steam World games?
Haven't gotten to them.
Despite
no.
your glowing recommendations, no.
No, Derek. No, Jose.
nope.
Nah.
Ah, man, you guys are all missing out. I love the Steam World games. I've played Quest 2, which was like an incredible Metroidvania with a really satisfying gameplay loop. No, not Quest 2. SteamWorld Dig 2. I played SteamWorld Quest, which is the turn-based card battler JRPG. That was really fun. I've played SteamWorld Heist, which is almost you're on like a 2D plane and your characters are in combat with other people in a world and you're like bouncing bullets off of walls. It's very interesting and cool. But they're all super enjoyable, all different, very different gameplay styles. Anyways, The developers of the SteamWorld games have announced that there are several new SteamWorld games in development, and they've also announced that they've changed their name. They used to be Image and Form. Now they are Thunderful Games. So,
Thunderful.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, why
I
not?
like it.
Interesting amount of, I mean, maybe I say amount, but it's only been 2 recently that all these indie developers are rebranding.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to see, but I don't know if
Yeah,
key
I
people
feel
have
like
left.
I feel like it has to do with your amount of renown in the space because Matt Makes Games had 2 games and then Celeste blew up, and so it's like I guess it's kind of the same thing with Smash tags, right? Because a lot of Smashers, once they gain prominence, have to change their tags because they could have been seen as inappropriate.
Or just stupid, like Best
Yeah,
Ness.
like the most famous one is Dr. PP used to be his tag, and then he became one of the 5 gods of Melee and changed his name to PPMD, which is, I think, an even funnier
Yeah.
tag.
The letters, he changed it to the letters PP before it was like
Yeah.
PP, right?
Yeah, spelled out.
Yeah. So,
PPMD.
anyways, I'm super excited about this. I think you should all play the SteamWorld games. Maybe we can add SteamWorld Dig 2 to the hat. That's a real quick one.
I'd be down for that.
Cool. That's it for news. Like I said, very
Yeah, like
Sure.
jack shit happened.
very light week. Obviously we're getting E3 in a couple weeks from now, or about a month. Almost exactly a month.
Holy crap! That's right.
Yeah, like 1 day less than a month because it starts on the 12th and
So,
today's the 13th.
I'm assuming a lot of people are starting to hold the cards close to their chest in preparation for that. So it might be a slow couple weeks, and then E3.
And then fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what
Man.
we've been playing lately. I want to start off by not something that we've been playing, but something that we watched. We had a Game Sharks movie night.
Oh, gosh. Here
Derek
we go.
couldn't make it, unfortunately, but Andrew, Adam, and Tikon and Jordan all came over to my place. My brother came, and we set up a projector in my backyard, and we watched the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
And it was one of the worst movies I've watched in a long time.
I fully agree.
It was.
And I am notorious for being like non-critical of movies. I just like things. I've been getting, I guess, better at hating things recently, or like criticizing them. I don't know. There's a lot of instances where like I don't notice flaws in movies until they're pointed out to me, and then on a rewatch I'll notice it. So, but I agree. The Mortal Kombat movie was pure garbage.
The writing
In
was
terms of-
terrible. The
writing was-
acting was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just
There was so many instances where you're like, okay, this is the part where they had a nerd in a room and they were like, well, you have to have him say, come over here.
or like he's like, you have to have someone say finish him. You have to say someone say fatality. It's like you don't.
Flawless victory.
You really
And it's
don't.
like none of them worked in context.
Yeah, they were the lines are thrown in there just to be there. Like, there's
Yeah.
no reason you had to say that.
Exactly.
It just didn't. There may have been a cool way to do it in some fashion somewhere, but they did not do it.
The
No,
funniest
it's-
part about it was like how predictable it was too. There were several moments during the movie where, they enter some big white space and Matt goes, "Oh, where are they? The void?" And then 2 seconds later, the character goes, "This is the void." And-
or there was a moment where I said, "This is the exact moment where Scorpion's gonna come out and say, get over here," and
and
not
then
even
it
10
happened.
seconds later.
Like, yeah,
It happened.
it was so fucking funny.
Yeah, it was really bad.
So
it
like
was-
many bad movies, I absolutely loved the event of watching the movie with you guys, but the movie itself was not great.
making fun of the movie as we were watching it was more fun.
That was the best part.
movie
I
itself.
kind
Yeah.
of feel that like the only reason they made it this way was to set up for another one. Like the entire movie just feels like
there
setup.
will probably be another one. I don't know. We'll see. Reptile was an actual lizard. He wasn't like a ninja. He was like literally just a monster on 4 legs. It was weird.
They didn't even have a tournament.
Yeah,
They fought each other to prevent having a tournament.
I was like they didn't
And
they didn't do the Mortal Kombat.
Tournaments are the like most inherently interesting format of like entertainment.
It's proven. All animes, the best arc is the tournament arc.
It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a rule.
it was
That's how
abysmal,
it
but
goes.
it was a fun watch.
Yeah,
it was fun
Kano
to
was
watch
great
it.
though.
Yeah, Kano.
Kano was awesome.
Anyways, Resident Evil 8 came out this week. I think Jose, have you started playing Resident Evil 8, or you have any intention?
No,
to
but
it?
I'm gonna be starting soon. I just
Okay.
finished Neo, so
Nice.
I got
Nice.
I got plenty of time on my hands now.
All right, cool.
If
So
you beat it by next week, we're doing a spoiler cast.
yes.
Oh god.
I think the
Don't
plan
do
is to
that.
try to do.
It's only 9 hours.
Yeah, it's a short game.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very short.
I'm playing
Oh,
it on
shit.
casual right now, and I'm kind of breezing through it. So
Oh yeah. So our plan is to do a spoiler cast because I think we can all have it done by next week. Anyways,
probably.
I am already done with it.
let's save that for
Crazy,
the
man.
last thing we talk about because I feel like
Sure.
it's going to be the biggest discussion.
Andrew, this is come.
Okay.
I remember you used to beat the Pokemon games in like a single day when they first came out.
I don't know about that. I got
No,
pretty
it was-
far.
It
That was
one
also
of them.
that was also the days where I would get home from school, boot it up, and play until 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
and like nonstop. Like
It
that
was something
when I
like
had
1 or
endless
2
free
days
time.
after. I forget which one it was, but yeah, when we were younger, you used to crank those out in like a day or two.
Yeah, you know.
All right. Let's start with Jose. You just mentioned that you had beaten Nio.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's
Uh,
supposed to be pronounced. I know you
I
pronounce
thi-
it Nio.
I think it's like Neo or whatever, but
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, that would
either
be how
either
it is.
way, yeah, Neo 1 is done.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good. All of the bosses were pretty exciting to fight, and like all the DLC was pretty fun too. I figured out how to properly make a build so that actually made the experience like so much better because I actually built for my weapons and whatnot.
Does it
and
have
I
a
got-
similar like stat to weapon integration as Dark Souls?
Pretty much. I mean, you get to once you get to the final rarity, you can increase the level by 1, so it'll do like +1, +2, +3, etc. But until you get to that rarity, weapons just have that like base stat that scales with your level and the level of the item itself. But once it hits max level, it's pretty straightforward from there. It just keeps going up and up. And the final fight, I mean, once you beat everything and everyone, you get to fight Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, really?
It's like a secret boss?
It's like it's a secret boss, yeah.
Oh, that's
Like
You-
fighting
you get, like, a
Sephiroth in
letter.
Kingdom Hearts?
You get a letter from one of the Hayabusa clan, and it's like, hey, I want to fight you. And then, you go to like an open field like Sekiro.
Oh,
And-
nice.
You get to fight him, and it's amazing because he's doing all of the moves from Ninja Gaiden Black and everything else. I lost my mind. It was amazing.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
That is really cool. I love when games do stuff like that. Like you're saying, Andrew
Same.
Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts, or Red in Pokemon Silver. So cool. Having like really
I think
fun
this
secret
is even cooler though because like Neo is not attached to the Ninja Gaiden universe, is it?
Well, I mean, now it is.
bosses.
I guess,
They-
but like it's not explicitly
It's-
takes place within the Ninja Gaiden world.
Well,
I
now
guess.
it does because now they've integrated the clan itself as part as existing in the Neo universe.
Right, but I
everything-
mean like the story.
Well, I mean, the stories don't really line up because they've got like their own separate stories, but they
Yeah.
both involve like demons and demon slaying and all that other stuff. So I could
Okay.
see it both being part of the universe, but as two separate entities, if that makes
Sure.
any sense.
I guess my point was more so that like in Pokemon Gold and Silver, Red is just a Pokemon trainer, and Sephiroth is a Final Fantasy character. So those
Oh,
both
okay.
like more
Yeah, no, they
recognizably
don't,
fit within each of those games structures.
The theme of it fits in Neo, but they have no impact on the story at all. It's just
Yeah.
there to fight, if
Yeah.
that's what you mean. Yeah.
Sure.
Plus, he drops
is
his
an
gear.
Easter egg. Is it? Did we determine
I
that?
would
I forgot
consider
our
that
definition.
an Easter egg.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
We'll have to
I
go
don't
back
know.
to that episode and
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember what was said.
Either way, you get his gear, and his gear is broken. So I mean, I don't know. I
Nice.
get to cosplay as Ryu. It's fantastic. Other than that, been playing Rise less and less because I'm just waiting for that new update to drop by at the end of the month. And I mean, I've been playing Magic a lot, Yeah.
Arena or like in person.
like in person.
Nice.
I came back from a big Commander game that we didn't even finish.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, it
Did you
took
take
too
a
long.
picture of your board state?
No, I should have. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do it next time.
What
But
commander were you playing?
Traxa.
You son of a bitch.
Super Friends, Infect. What are
Super
you doing?
Friends.
Super, of course.
Super Friends.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Hey, I popped off with some card that I don't remember, but you pay X mana, you reveal X amount of cards, and then you can drop X amount of legendary permanent non-land permanents, or sorry, non-land permanents and or lands from the top of your library. So I ended up dropping like 4 planeswalkers and like 5 creatures or something. It was ridiculous.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Can't wait till
But-
we all get to play.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably get into Resident Evil Village. If it's as short as you guys say, I will probably get through it in a day for
Yeah,
sure.
like 11 hours maximum.
Yeah, no, that's easy peasy. I can do that.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. What about you, Adam? What have you been playing?
Well, Resident Evil 8. Andrew let me download it onto the PS4 he gave me.
You gotta bring it up every time.
Yep. And I'm gonna make snacks when we can meet in person again.
Well, we can. We already did. You made us cookies.
I did.
They were really
So
good.
more
I ate a lot
snacks
of
to
those
come.
cookies.
Yes, more snacks to
So
come.
many cookies.
I'm probably gonna been playing a little more Pokemon Snap. It kind of has a slow progression unless you're like really playing it a lot.
I have
Yeah.
some things I want to say about Pokemon Snap. If you want to stop
That's
on
right.
that for a minute.
Jeff was not here.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I'll.
Well, what do you?
I'll,
what do you-
I'll
give me your update first.
I mean, it's relaxing. It's it's chill. It doesn't really feel rushed, but there's kind of a story to it.
Okay.
But it's very slow and drawn out.
Mm,
Because like seemingly, it seems like the way you need to progress in the game is do very specific things in the courses.
yes, like
Even
the,
like-
the mail that you get, and it's like, hey, take a picture. Like, who's scorching these apples?
Yeah.
Like that one.
Now, even then, like to get the nighttime mission and get the Lumina orbs, you need to take a picture of the glowing thing. You need to figure out where it is.
Hmm.
So like sometimes there's like you need to do something specific to trigger something, and it might be easy to miss.
What did your dog just bite your nipple?
Just-
Wait, what just happened?
you just gave Derek a heart attack.
What's oh the dog? You just got scared.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Derek just
But-
got scared by his dog.
just
My dog,
watch
when
me-
he wants attention, he boops you with his nose. Just get the shit out of me.
Good boy.
Anyways, continue, Adam.
Lamau got him.
So I'll probably like I know there's probably like an end game to this. I can kind of see it. Like there's stuff that gets unlocked, but it's a slow progression.
Hmm.
It's like I'll be doing the same level over and over trying to get the next research level, and it's a little boring in the sense that you need to do the same level like 20 times to hit the next level, like the next research level. It's like it's not something that you can like really speed run in any sense of the word. So I'm probably just gonna write my review as is, like with the disclaimer, I have not unlocked everything.
Yeah.
Because I'll just I just want to sit on the couch and play something chill. It's a great game for that, but
Hmm.
it definitely wasn't meant to be a, like sit down and like play this to completion as fast as you can kind of game. This is definitely more in the Animal Crossing vibe of you're just gonna take your time with this.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they intended for this.
So my experience so far, kind of my big thing is I wish this game was $20 cheaper and had way less features in it.
Yeah, I'll second that.
So first off, I hate the star rating system. It seems a lot of the things they put in this game feel like they put it in so that you would just play it more, and like in a not interesting way.
artificially increase the length.
Yeah, so with the star rating system, you can have star ratings 1 through 4, but there is nothing ever indicates what will make a star rating 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you're just taking random ass pictures, and it could be you could be snapping 3 pictures in a row, and it could just all of a sudden like the Pokemon you're taking a picture of could turn to look at something specific, and then the game is programmed to say, oh, because he's looking at this thing, that's a 2-star picture, whereas when he wasn't looking at the thing, it's a 1-star picture. But nowhere does
they're
it,
making some kind of face or doing something interesting.
nowhere does it tell you this. I've had times where I've taken a picture. Yeah, we're talking about Pokemon Snap. Sorry, someone in chat asked. I've had things where I've taken a picture of a Pokemon through thick grass, and you can only see very small parts of it. It's mostly a picture of grass, but it's a 4-star picture because apparently they were doing something interesting behind the grass. I wish they would just eliminate the whole star system, and it's like, okay, you're just trying to get the best picture of any given Pokemon that you can, as opposed to, okay, I have to get the best picture of a Pokemon sitting around doing nothing. I need to get the best picture of them after I've hit them with an apple. I need to get the best picture of them after I threw this glowy ball and they're standing in this very specific spot. So again, this goes back to the being cheaper and having less features. I wish that wasn't in it. Like you were saying with the research levels, Adam, though, that's another thing where you're not gaining research levels by achieving goals. You are literally just getting levels or gaining research levels by just playing the levels over and over again. Like,
Yeah,
I
and,
feel
like-
like you could not take a single picture and you'll still gain experience, like the same amount of experience as if you took the best picture you've taken so far.
Yeah, and then like even from going from like 1 to 2, it took like, let's say 30,000 experience, and then all of a sudden to get from 2 to 3, it's like 120,000. Like there seems to be a very strange gap there of why is it now so exponentially higher to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So I just need to spend so much time just replaying this course where nothing's really changing.
Exactly. And
Like if it'd be much better in my opinion. Sorry to interrupt.
no, go ahead. We're having very
Be
similar
much-
thoughts.
It'd be much better in my opinion if like on that trek to getting from like research level 2 to 3, there was at least some variety in the pathing the Pokemon would take.
Mhm.
But their behavior is very scripted. I would have liked it better if maybe it was like, like a couple different variations on behavior you could see, like maybe like random rolled like one of 4 different tracks that would happen, like, oh, maybe this guy shows up or maybe they do this instead, make
I
it
have
so
a-
I'm not replaying the exact same scenario
Yeah.
over and over again to get to level 3 to see that different behavior.
So when you upgrade a course to a higher research level,
New stuff
can-
happens.
does it- yeah, so new stuff happens, but can you access the old stuff that happens?
No, you can.
You can?
Yeah, you can select, I want to go back to course 1.
No. He's saying like if
Well,
you
but
get
I'm
course
saying
1 to
if-
research level 3, and like the
Does-
Grookey
like,
does
does it-
something specific in research level 2, he won't do that thing anymore. He'll only do the thing that he does in research level 3 now.
And then you can't go back to whatever he did on 2.
Correct.
That's really dumb.
I agree.
And,
But theoretically, he's doing a new thing that will get you better pictures. But like,
Right.
I want to check that.
okay,
But yeah, so my frustration with that comes in that those new behaviors should be discoverable by your interaction and not through this
just
artificial
playing the level
grind.
so many times that they just start
Yeah.
doing something new. I agree.
Because like if you play in theory the level over and over again but just never get the picture of the one thing and then you just never have access to it again, then that's just bad game design.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the direction that they took this game. I would have liked to have them either take it off rails and just be like all right, you have 3 minutes. We're throwing you in the level, run in any direction, get any angle, and like it's kind of like a set of routines happens. Like think space game that we really love,
Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds, where it's like, okay, there's a set amount of things happening, and they'll change if you interact with them in certain ways.
That's what the original Pokemon Snap was.
Yeah, but take that off rails, and that would be way more interesting.
Okay, confirmed. If you press X while you're looking at the course, you can change and go back to earlier research levels.
Okay,
Okay,
that
that's
is something
fine
I
then.
didn't know. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have to press a few buttons to do it, but you can do it. So you're not locked into whatever the highest level you have is.
Yeah,
gotcha.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. I miss the days of the original Pokemon Snap where it's like, okay, I'm just looking to get the single best picture of a Porygon that I can. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter where they are. The scoring is like based on this one picture, not like the 4 stars or whatever. Like, I can take a sweet picture of a Porygon, but then it's a 1 star, and it's like, well, I need to fill in my 3-star slot, so I can't use this. I guess I can get a better score on my existing one.
I feel like you're arguing against like
What Pokemon Snap
replayability.
is.
Like the first Pokemon Snap, if like there's no replayability once you take all the best pictures.
Yeah,
Right?
and
Like,
that's
if
what
you
I want. I want to
So-
play through the game, get sweet pictures, unlock a new item. And that's another complaint I have about this is like when I got like a new thing, it felt like a chore to go back to older levels as opposed to fun to go back and explore and see what the new thing does. Where like now the reward is like that Grookey, if you play the flute for him now, it'll be a 4-star picture. Whereas like you go back to the original one, it's like if you play it for the Snorlax, he'll actually stand up and dance, and you can get an actual picture of him. Or you get the Pester Balls, and you can evolve a Pokemon. I feel like that.
How is that different than the star system?
Because I think the star system and I think the star system just makes it like visually more frustrating in this game. Like there's something that like quantifies it even more, and it's that you are, instead of focusing on, you know, actually taking a good photo with good composition and lighting and everything. I don't know anything about photography, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But like it's just making you fulfill these arbitrary conditions to appease the game's self-imposed scoring system. You know, it's like I don't give a shit about 1 to 4 stars. If I take a good photo, I want that to represent that Pokemon, you know?
So I guess, are you saying like the problem is that like, so the stars, if Pikachu licking its paw is a 1-star photo, I could take the shittiest picture of that happening and I would still get the credit and kind of pass that. Is that what like kind of the issue is?
So like if it's like it's licking its paw and the game determines that's a 3-star action, but he's off in like the corner of the frame over here and you have his back, that will still receive 3 stars, and that just feels dumb.
Okay.
So
I understand a little bit more what you're saying.
The star rating is separate from the score. So
Which the scoring system has really never made sense.
The star rating is just a checkoff of getting them with these 4 different actions.
They are predetermined actions that the game doesn't tell you how to achieve.
Okay.
It's like if you see it doing something weird, just snap a picture and it'll tell you which star it is.
But not
later.
until after you go and review it.
Yeah.
And then when
you can only submit one of each, one per round. So it's if you take a really good 1-star and a really good 4-star in the same round, you can only choose one for that Pokemon.
I see what you're saying.
So
okay,
it's
there's some
forced
conflicting decisions in the game. It sounds like
it feels like
much.
forced replayability as opposed to like replayability.
like natural want to replay it kind of thing. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
like
I
in
see
the
what
original
you're saying.
Pokemon, in the N64 one, if I wanted to replay a level to like get a specific picture of a Pokemon, that was because I wanted to get a picture of that Pokemon, not because I felt like I had to check a box.
Right. Yeah, that makes. I guess. Yeah,
Like
I can see how that makes a big
I
difference.
think the easiest example is the Surfing Pikachu, because in the original, the Surfing Pikachu just got you more points, you know, because it was a special thing. But in this, it would be defined as like a 3-star or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Again, and another thing, everyone brings this up who talks about this game, but this game, the algorithms that determine the score for your pictures, like, is not comparable to how the humans perceive art. Like it does not understand the concept of the rule of thirds. It's like the picture has to be in the dead center, otherwise you get less points. And it's like I want to frame it in a really cool way and have this cool thing, like this tree over here, and then the Pokemon here, and it's like Pokemon needs to be in the middle, or you get less points. So that's as someone with a history in film and like
But even then, like if you want to do it on the more artistic side, you can save whatever damn photo you want and like add
and share it with your friends and
embellishment to
whatnot.
It's truly, but then the game quantifies it for you and says, "Hey, this is bad."
That's what sucks.
Well,
about
you
it.
can ignore that
You can.
if you really so choose.
So I think what I've
But
determined.
and then in that case, just become a photographer and don't take pictures of Pokemon.
Yeah. So I need to remind myself, like, this is definitively a kid's game,
Yes.
and reviewing it as a grown ass man, I don't enjoy playing it very much, and I might pick it up once in a while and see if I can get to some new levels or whatnot. But as a kid's game, it's really cool. It's beautiful. It's fun. I loved playing Pokemon Snap as a kid, so I'm sure kids play this. I know my nephew is playing it currently, and I think my niece and nephew are both playing it. So I need to talk to them at some point and see, hey, do you guys like this? Is it really cool for you? So I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
We got a question in chat. Do we think they're going to add any DLC or updates for more content?
I could see it.
think
It
it's
seems like the kind of
possible.
game that would just like once you do everything, like it'll take a while. I 100% expect there to be some DLC for this at some point.
Yeah,
It just
new
seems like
levels,
the
new
perfect
Pokemon.
game to,
Right, all
Yeah,
you have to
like-
do is add a new location and new Pokemon. Like how
and then you're
hard?
done. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that they put the protagonist from the first game in here. I don't know if that's a
that is
spoiler.
nice. It's a nice
It
little.
happens.
Todd.
Todd's in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they put him in at the end. Like he pops up at the end of the first level after
Nope.
you played a couple times. So
Sorry, Jeff, you ruined the game for me.
sorry.
Can't believe Todd is in it.
So yeah, that's how I feel. It's okay.
I'm gonna keep playing it, but it's not something that, because of the way it is, I'm not gonna spend like 5 hours in a row doing it. It's gonna be like here and there when I got some time.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Adam, we're still on you. Is there anything else you've been playing?
is there anything else I've been playing? Oh, still playing some WoW. I hit level 30,
Wow.
31. I'm close to 31.
Shit.
I'm not gonna be ready. I'm not gonna be
Just
ready
give
in
it up,
time for.
man.
I'm not gonna be ready in time for Crusades. I'm just gonna. Eventually, I'm gonna hit 60, but it's more of a slow grind.
Mm.
Just when I got nothing better to
Just
do.
play other games. You always
I
have
am
something
playing
better
other
to do. You have God of War, you have Horizon, you have Resident
That is
Evil.
very
There's
true.
always something better to do than playing a game that came out in 2001. When did World of Warcraft originally come out? You're playing an old version of a game,
I am.
and everyone's
playing
getting
over
excited about the first expansion that came out.
to the old.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Anyways,
Well, I mean, listen to us complaining about, how the new Pokemon Snap is not like the old Pokemon Snap. So
sure, but I'm also not going to go back and play the old Pokemon Snap.
you can
You
do it in
could,
2 hours, Jeff.
Sure. Oh, I want to make a correction. Last week Andrew said there was no boost and he was mad about it, but you unlock the boost later on in the game.
Up until where
as
we
you-
were, sure.
Yeah, as you did in the original one too. In the original one,
Yeah, that I didn't remember.
you don't start with the boost. You don't unlock it till super late in the game. So
But super late in the game is like a half hour.
it's like 3 hours.
I said
Um,
you can beat that. You can beat that game in 2 hours, Jeff. Come on.
but you can't get the best pictures. Anyways, if that's it for you, Adam,
Yeah.
we'll move
Yeah,
on.
I don't think I have much. I don't have much else.
Move on to
There's
Derek.
A lot of time for Resident Evil right now.
Move on to Derek, who was just playing Crash 4 right before we recorded. So tell us more about that. Derek. Having a real hard time, it seemed.
Yeah. I also wasn't really focusing, so I'm sure that didn't help. And I was also playing the first time you play with Tana
Mhm.
Bandicoot, so I was like not used to it. But yeah, I liking it. I liking it so far.
Wait,
Me
we're not at
thinking
Resident
good.
Evil yet. Hold on. No likens.
I get
That's
it.
a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's
Ooh.
pretty good so far. I'm only playing it like intermediate, from time to time when I'm like
Intermediate?
bored. Yeah, because mainly I've been trying to play a lot of Returnal, and I am pretty close, I think, to finishing it. But it is really good. I think you'll like it, Jeff.
I'm incredibly excited to play it.
I think you like it because it's disguised as like a fast-paced bullet hell, but really the best way to play it is to be super patient, take your time, sit back. It's the
Yeah.
Jeff way.
That's how I do everything.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Uh.
So if you just play the way that you play all video games, then you're gonna have a great time.
I'm super excited about it. I haven't had time to play it. Obviously, new child in my
Yeah.
house. But once I finish Resident Evil, which is going to be quicker than I thought, and as long as nothing else comes out in the meantime, I know Mass Effect's coming out. I don't know what my plan is for that yet. But I
haven't
really
decided
do.
either.
I do want to play Returnal, and I might just wait until they add the patch, because like
For the autosave.
they've
patch.
hinted that you're going to be able to save in between runs.
They said they're talking about it, but it's like really hard.
I wouldn't expect it'll come out anytime soon.
No,
Also, don't
They
think
just released an update
it's
about
really
it.
needed.
but about me who can't play games until my kid goes to bed, and then I also get very tired after like an hour. The first time I
If-
booted up Resident Evil, I was falling asleep while I was playing it because I was
Yeah.
so tired.
Because the way they have it set up in a good way, I feel like that gives you like faster ways to complete to go through.
Yeah,
So like unless like I don't know, once you get to a certain point, you know what you are looking for and you know what you want. So it like I feel like the game gets a little more streamlined.
Okay.
Unless I don't know. It's one.
There's
yeah,
a way
it's-
to circumvent it a little bit by turning off auto updates, and then if you leave your PlayStation in rest mode, then it shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
right.
Which
And then,
I'm
the
only
only,
gonna be
and then the
playing-
only thing you're facing is random crashes, which definitely happen. I
Yeah.
had a run, one run that was really good, die from random crash, but
Yeah, that happened to me
Yeah,
with
see, I
Resident
haven't had
Evil
any.
too. Because Xbox is like save state or not save state. What's they call it? Where like
Quick resume?
suspend the suspend feature on Xbox
Yeah.
is really great, and it works almost flawlessly for me all the time. And I was using it while playing Resident Evil. I would just put my thing into sleep mode and come right back. But I was playing and I was like, oh, a save point. This is a good time for me to stop. So I saved and then put my console to sleep. And then when I booted it, it went through the entire main menu boot, and I was like, oh no. Good thing I saved and didn't just put it to sleep. I don't know what caused it to do it, but it happens every once in a rare while. So always be saving. Anyways, yeah, I'm super excited to inevitably play Returnal.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm excited to wrap it up and try and write a review.
yeah, Derek keeps telling me like things that aren't. He's without revealing any information
Yeah.
whatsoever, but just telling me like how far he's gotten, and he's like, "Oh, things happen," and I'm like, "I want to know the things," but I've been playing Resident Evil instead, so I haven't, been able to get there. I've spent a decent amount of time playing Returnal, but I haven't spent any time progressing in Returnal, so
that is a little. I don't know. I feel like eventually you get to a point, right? You get to a point where it's like, okay, I know what I need to do. I know we need to go. Like, I don't need to venture off as often
Yeah.
unless I know I need to like try and find something.
I just keep making stupid mistakes where I'll like accidentally dash
yeah.
off a ledge and lose my adrenaline, and I'm like, well, shit.
Lose
So-
a giant chunk of health when you don't really need to lose that health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't stop thinking about Returnal. I need to play it at all times.
Yeah, that game looks insanely cool. I can't
Yeah.
wait to get my hands on it.
If you the
alas,
thing
no
that
PS5.
yeah, the only thing that sucks about it is that it's a PS5 exclusive, like one of
Yeah.
the first of its kind. So it's
Yeah.
it's like so inaccessible. We were just talking about PS5 shortages. It's going to be tough before a lot of players get their hands on it.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Hopefully it doesn't get overshadowed by any other big releases. I feel like that happens sometimes. Like something cool comes out in the beginning and not everyone can play it right away, so it kind of gets like overshadowed.
Mm.
And people forget about it.
Yeah, it sucks because I want games to be PS5 exclusives because then they get the cool features and they have the solid state loading and they have the DualSense
Yeah.
stuff and they look stunning and run stunning. But then on the other hand, Adam and Jose can't play them because they can't get their hands on PS5s. You know,
Yeah,
so
right.
it's like double-edged sword.
I'll probably wait until they're
Available.
more readily available
You can
before
walk
I
into a
start-
store and buy one.
Yeah,
still
'cause
looking,
right
but-
now it's not worth the hunt right now,
Mhm.
especially since I have Andrew's
Mhm.
PS4 and pretty much everything he's ever bought on there to keep me busy.
Yeah, there's only very few couple games that you can't play on your PS4. That
I
Yeah,
had
I've got
no
I've got a
reason. And
PC
it's-
that'll
their
cover
names
like
are-
a lot of other.
Astro's Playroom, Demon Souls, and Returnal.
Yeah,
Those
so-
are the three
yeah.
games.
and a lot of other new stuff coming out I can do on my PC. So,
that's true.
I just want
Sure,
to play
sure.
God of War and Bloodborne and
but Bloodborne's
that
on
other
the
stuff.
high up on
Well,
my.
Jose, I can let you borrow my PS4 that's Adam's
My
PS4.
Adams.
Yeah,
My Adams PS4.
Yes.
Derek, don't you have a PS4 lying around now?
Dante has one of mine.
You have two PS4s?
Yeah, I have a pro and a regular.
Oh, fancy. I think Tikon might still
Uh,
have his PS4 too.
Yeah, Dante
that?
has my pro right now, so he can play Ghost of Tsushima, which he
Oh,
borrowed it 3
ooh.
months ago and
Ghost of
just started
Tsushima.
playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow.
I forgot about that game too. I need to play that.
That game's awesome.
Yeah,
There's so many games,
It's like
man.
right up my alley
Too many
in terms
games.
of like aesthetic.
Yeah, you were just talking about how much you liked Neo.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love Ghost of Tsushima.
All right, Derek, back to you about what we've been playing.
Other than that, I think I've just been playing more Bravely Default. I'm at.
Oh, I have another comment for you. You were talking about the girl that paints things.
Yeah.
That was not the fucked up thing that made me angry.
Oh, okay. Okay. There's something after that.
Yes.
Okay. I just fought Martha, the girl that's the dragoon. Is that her name, Martha? I
Oh,
don't know.
yep,
I just
Martha.
got the dragoon class.
Yeah, Dragoon's sweet.
And
Did you just say Martha?
I'm done.
Boo.
Oh god. Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
gonna
You
dive
are
into that.
you are about to get to the part that made me really angry and is really fucked up.
Okay. Cool.
It's in that town that you're about to go
Yeah.
to. You're getting
Sweet.
there. You're getting pretty close.
Yeah. I'm progressing through slowly.
I'd say you're like maybe 2/3.
That sounds about right.
Cool.
Right? There's 5 chapters.
There's an ending after 5 chapters.
Right. Yeah. There's more after that, but technically, I think you said like the first ending, or yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll talk about it later.
What else did I play? Anything else?
Yeah, Derek.
You guys beat Halo.
We beat Halo.
Oh, you
on
beat it?
Legendary.
They
Nice.
beat the first
Beat
one.
Halo
Tika
on
and I
Legendary.
have 3
Yeah.
levels left, I think.
Yeah, I think you guys have
And
3 levels.
Derek and I are gonna finish the game on Legendary and the first 5 levels on not Legendary before Jeff and T-Con finish the game once.
You guys play more than
Lovely.
us.
We're gonna do
We do
it.
not play more than you. We
You
play at the
have-
same time as you, and that's it.
I'm telling you, there's one level that it's gonna take you like 4 hours.
I don't think so.
We'll
We
see.
just played the
We'll see,
flood
Jeff.
level and we breezed through it.
Derek and I have 4 levels left.
I have an
We breezed
interesting
through the starting level.
theory.
Which is
I know
T-Con
we've
charges
been
in a
saying-
lot. Just so
we-
you know,
Exactly.
he dies a lot.
Yeah, I think
So
you
does
guys-
Derek.
And you guys are also very, very vocal about when you die and like your frustration. Where like anytime Andrew and I die, it's like, oh, I died by the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. I'll
But
try.
here's-
Oh, I'm dead too.
And here's the thing I noticed too is like when I'm listening into Jeff and T-Con, you know, one of them will scream, "Oh, I'm dead," and then the other one will seemingly attempt to just keep fighting. Whereas when Derek dies, I'll just like back up 5 feet and like go
That's-
behind a corner, and
that's what I
and
try
I
to
can
tell-
respawn him.
That's what I try to tell T-Con to do. I don't know how he doesn't do it all the time. I always try. I always leave combat as soon as he dies. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
That's
Derek and I are just on a wavelength.
we should switch
Yeah.
partners for Halo 2.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, okay, we could do that.
Do it randomly.
Figure it out. See how
Make Derek and T-Con play together, and
Oh,
they'll both
God.
rush in.
both
That'd be
try to kill
interesting.
kill everything.
Grenades everywhere. So yeah, our journey through Halo is we're making progress.
Yeah.
Is that it, Derek?
I think so.
Okay, Andrew. you're
Yeah,
up.
but besides when
I am
we'll
up.
talk about
Besides
it later.
Well, I think with Halo and Returnal, we pretty much covered everything I've played because the only other game is Resident Evil. I've
Yeah.
been playing mostly that.
That's it for me
uh,
too. So you'll-
Returnal, yeah, I guess like I said, all I can think about is Returnal. I specifically I specifically got through Resident Evil so that I could play more Returnal unhinged, like on no restrictions,
Like a
unrestricted.
crazy person.
That's the word. And so that's what I'm gonna be doing. I might pick up Mass Effect. I don't know.
I hope I am definitely picking it up because obviously I'm a big Mass Effect fan.
Mhm.
So I hope at least one of you picks it up.
I
I
want
want
to.
to.
I just don't know when I'm gonna have the time, especially.
I
with
know,
all
yeah,
these
it's like
other
because
things.
it's all 3 games and that's like 70 hours.
Yeah, it's 3 games. The first one, at least, I don't think is as long. There's not as many like side quests in the first one.
Yeah.
I think, but the second one is pretty long, and the third one is pretty long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
So no, that's it for me.
All right, let's talk about Resident Evil 8 Village.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to call it Resident Evil 8. I think you're supposed to call it
No.
Resident Evil Village.
Even on the title screen, it says Village Resident Evil.
Yeah,
So
I think
they
it's
really wanted
Resident
to.
Evil 8-age.
I think you're right. No,
Eight
it's
age.
It's
VII
Vadage.
age.
All right. I want to know. Let's start with how far everyone is. Jose hasn't played it yet. Andrew is beating it. Derek, how far are you?
I just finished the castle.
What biome are you in?
So you just finished the castle?
Yeah, so I'm back to the village.
Okay. Adam, how far are you?
I the second Lord. I just beat that scenario.
Okay. So you
Okay.
beat that one?
Yes, like
You beat
like an hour.
you beat the second biome.
Sure.
I don't
Like an hour before we started this.
Yeah, you have to do the puppet lady second, right? You can't do
Yeah, it's the puppet lady. I wasn't sure how
Okay.
many details I'm supposed to be saying. Because aren't we going to spoiler cast this later?
We are, but like I think they've made it known that there's like 4 big bad guys in the promotion.
Yes, I beat the
Yeah.
puppet lady.
The
That was
Elite
a-
Four.
Yeah.
Yes, the
All
Elite
right,
Four.
I
for
am
better.
currently in the middle of the 3rd biome with the swamp the swamp lord.
Yeah. Vomit.
So does that
McGee.
mean Heisenberg's the last one?
Yes.
No.
Well,
The fourth one?
the 4th one. You know there's like a final and then a final, but
Right.
Out
Well,
of the-
I
out of
really
want
to kill him.
Okay. All right, I want like a 1 to 2 sentence summary of how you feel about this game. We'll go with the least amount to the most amount. So Derek, you go first.
Okay.
1 to 2. We'll keep it short for now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to condense. This game is fun. I like it more than 7 so far.
Okay.
It's a little too linear currently.
Okay.
That
All
was like 3 sentences.
Yeah. All right, Adam, what do you think?
Serious Resident Evil 4 vibes. Like very, like, seeing as though 4 is the only other one I've played, but
Okay.
very fun, very creepy, but in a good way.
All right. So for me, this game is fucking amazing. It's my favorite Resident Evil.
Wow.
So, glowing recommendations from Jeff. It's pretty damn good.
Andrew, what do you got?
This
As the one who's
Th-
beaten it.
game has maybe left me the most confused after finishing it than any other video game ever.
Oh,
And because I really, really want to like it because there's so much good in it, but I feel like the game is constantly trying to make me not like it.
So
based on a lot of, like, you guys have just barely scratched the surface with some of the shit.
Mhm.
But like, oh, Jeff, if you're on the 3rd lore, then you already got to the point where that I said you were gonna lose your mind, which is all of you have gotten to it. The part where he fucking just pours med fucking
And then-
first aid on his
and then
hands.
puts his hand back on. Yeah. I just looked at Allison and I was like, "Did you just see that?" Because he literally just pours a bottle of medicine on his hand, on his like stub, and then places his like decapitated, I think his head only severed hand back on his stub, and it just like fuses back. So I think
He literally does that in 7 with his leg.
yeah, he does it like
I'm pretty sure that's not how medicine works.
It's like an established, like, that's, I think, why he does it, because he's like, I think this worked last time I did it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can tell he's kind of like, okay, yep, still works.
So
He did not reattach his leg in 7. That did
Yeah,
not happen.
He does, yeah.
No.
doesn't
when?
his hand get cut off in 7 too?
He gets I think his hand gets cut off, his leg gets cut off.
Sure, his hand gets cut off, but that's by Jack. So like,
Yeah, his leg gets cut off, I think, by Mia, I think.
but even his hand has all the fucking stitches.
Right, but it's like the medicine is what, like, fuses it back together. It's
So-
like this whole weird. It's like I think it's part of his character.
Yeah,
that he
so
made
I
this.
think that's where this is going, and I don't want to get any
So-
spoilery here.
Anyway.
but like it seems like they're gonna go into like what the fuck is going on. Like in 7, you're like you just have to suspend your disbelief, but it seems like in 8 they are working towards like okay, who is Ethan Winters? What the fuck is going on? With
Yeah,
this idiot?
and that really is, I think, what is baffling me so much about this game, because Ethan Winters is the single worst video game protagonist ever created.
So we've mentioned the best
And
video game character
somehow-
in Ichiban and the worst in Ethan in the same episode.
I think Ichiban is one of the best.
I think earlier you said he's the best video game protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he might very well could be. So the thing that confuses me is that Ethan was already bad in 7. So then they just decided, hey, what if we made the game centralized around him? The story, all about Ethan. And I'm just like, why?
So
I don't know why we needed it.
So you know how when we talked about Control, I was like, this story is nonsense and they don't explain any of it and I hate it. And you guys were like, no, it's great. I have reversed with this where it's like, this is nonsense and it's crazy and I love it. But I think it's because of the history of Resident Evil where Control was like, that was a standalone game. So I was like, okay, I need this standalone game world to work. Whereas in Resident Evil, it's built up over 2 decades now plus of just like
Yeah,
getting
like, this is just how
progressively
shit works.
Right,
crazier
like-
and crazier. And now we're at Resident Evil Village and it's just like there's vampires and werewolves and lichens and gargoyles and all of this crazy like medieval mythological stuff and I'm loving it. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
we've moved away from pathogens and shit. We're going straight up supernatural.
I feel like the game is so, campy and like terribly written and like nothing makes sense, and the whole time I was trying to make it make sense, but then at the end I'm like, but I guess that's just what Resident Evil has always been.
Yeah, think about 4.
what it's
4 is
always
fucking
been.
bonkers. It makes no
So-
sense.
I guess the problem I have with that is like, since this is on the PlayStation 5 and this game is gorgeous,
Xbox Series X.
like, yeah, it's so good looking. It's presented in a way where I'm like, I want to take this seriously. And there's a lot of moments where it's like, is this a horror game or is it an action game? And it kind of tries to blend both.
See, I think it blends it perfectly. It's like
I
it's
think
got
it
the
blends
right
it very
amount of
well
scary.
too, but like at the same time I can't tell what it's trying to do, because like the first 6 hours of the game are very more like, once you get to the third lord, after that is just pure action. Like there's almost no horror segments. My favorite part of the game is probably the second lord's location.
Yeah, dude,
That was creepy.
That was some weird shit.
Like,
That
I
freaked-
loved
that freaked
that
me out.
section.
That shit is nightmare fuel.
But
That's what I want out of the game.
I'm liking that I'm getting a little bit of everything. Like you go to Castle Dimitrescu, and
The
it's
castle was also really good.
it's almost
No, the
like
castle
its
was very well
own
designed.
Resident Evil 1 mansion contained thing. And then you go to the second lord, which I don't want to spoil for Derek, but it takes an entire left turn. It's an entirely different thing. And then I'm just starting the third one. I'm like only a little bit of the way into it, but it's also like that lord brings a whole new aspect to like what I'm doing and traversing through that area biome. And I can only imagine when I get to Heisenberg's area, it's going to be an entirely different thing. So I like hopping to these different things, and like each section of the game is its own cool, unique
Yeah, it feels
thing from the
even
Resident
if
Evil
the-
universe.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like just the shift from Dimitrescu's castle to the second lord, like almost felt like you're playing something completely different.
Yeah, it like that. Dimitrescu's thing is almost like Resident Evil 1 and 2 style, and then
Like she's hunting you down in
and
the
then the
castle.
second lord is more like a Resident Evil 7, like in the beginning, like that level of horror style. And then from what I'm getting from the third area, that's feeling like Resident Evil 4 very much, with like the corridors and the water and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm loving what it's doing. It's really fun. It's like it's borrowing all the stuff that worked for 4 with like the shopkeeper and the inventory system, and the upgrading of your weapons and all that stuff. It all works super
Yeah.
well.
I mean, like I said, there's so much that I like about it, but every time something cool would happen, then Ethan fucking says, "Eat shit," or like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Shut up!"
I think I love how stupid he is. He's like, it's looping
I
back
just-
around. To
It
like,
made me like laugh out loud every time, just because of how like oddly placed and just stupid it was.
yeah,
I bet you could do like a long form video essay comparing the trends in like Hollywood horror action like and thriller movies and the trends in Resident Evil games, because like I was just like thinking about it, and like the first games are very, very like campy. Like the dialogue is dumb and stupid,
Even
but
in
it's surrounded
4,
by
it's really
like
dumb still.
yeah, like but that's like I feel like the '90s had like dumb horror movies that like the dialogue was dumb, but like the settings, the scenarios is what kind of made them kind of creepy. And then in the 2000s, we started getting like these more action oriented thrillers, like 4, and now like in the 2010s, the naughty tens. What is you?
The naughties or the oddies.
Brother off.
Wouldn't the naughty tens be the 0010s,
I know.
Derek? The era of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Like I feel like this movie emulates this era this game emulates this era of movie, like the genre of horror and thriller better like right now than like what movie. I don't know, I'm not like the biggest, I'm a movie person, but I'm like, you know, I don't have a chronicle, you know, I haven't watched every movie ever. I feel like your brother Jeff would probably be able to like do this kind of thing. You know, he would like see, oh, okay, I see the references to this style of film and this, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think there's a lot there that these Resident Evil developers are clearly like taking hints from, and I think that it makes it an interesting kind of relic of the era. Like these 7 and 8 are very of this era, and 4 and 5 and 6 are very more of the late 2000s era, and then 1, 2, and 3 are very much the late 90s, early 2000s era, and like, oh god, I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
That's okay. I think we can kind of stop the conversation here because we are going to do a spoiler cast next week.
We can do
go
a long.
into it. We can get into it
Yeah.
even more. But yeah, as of what I've played now, man, I think it's my game of the year so far.
It's up
Wow.
there for me too.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying the experience. I played most of what I've played today. I played like maybe an hour and a half before today, and then because I was home from work today, I just played like 6 or so hours of it. Yeah, it was really fun.
Definitely a fun video game. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, and
Most
even
of
if you,
most of my problems with it come from I think its story and how that is presented.
yeah, even if you take all of like the story nonsense aside, pure gameplay, it is so fun. And like
Absolutely.
the loop of exploration, stocking up, being scared by something, fighting your way out of something, and then repeating that is really, really strong.
Oh, and one thing, I think this game has like really sold me on on the adaptive trigger stuff.
Yeah.
Even more than Returnal, or the same amount?
Like Returnal started, it was like, okay, like Astrobot said, okay, this is cool. Returnal said, all right, we can really do some cool things with this. And then this game was just like, yep, like this is how this is the future of controllers. Since you're playing on Xbox, Jeff,
Mhm.
I think the cool thing that I really like is you can, with like it might only actually be just the pistol. You can do that, like when you're aiming, or actually even when you're not aiming, you can press down on the trigger just a little bit and it hits the notch. Like if you're like holding a gun, you're like literally resting, you're like kind of ready to pull the trigger kind of thing. Like you're, you know, so you can kind of ready yourself. Like, you know, like you're lining up the shot and you're like halfway with the press but not fully there. It definitely is like a different, I don't know, you don't think about it, but then like I started noticing I was like preloading my press when I was like fighting something, like I was getting ready for it. The
That is
shotgun,
cool.
to aim down, you have to, it's more pressure on the trigger to pull the gun up. It's cool stuff. I like it a lot.
Resident Evil Village is a game where you maybe play as a middle-aged milquetoast white man, and you go through a variety of areas to save your daughter Rose. And if that sounds familiar to you, it's because I just described the game It Takes Two.
Yeah, but you don't have your ex-wife with you.
No, you're
Nope.
no, that's true. Your wife is not with you.
All right, cool. I felt like that was good. I'm excited to talk about this like fully next week. I think that'll be
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But if that's everything everyone has played, then let's take a break, and then when we come back, we can get into our full discussion of Star
Oh
Wars
boy.
Knights of the Old Republic.
If you
We'll
thought
be-
that was divisive.
We'll be right back. All right, we have returned, and we are going to discuss Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Originally released on the original Xbox, I believe, right?
And PC? Or just
Was
Xbox?
it? I think it was just Xbox at the time.
Yeah, at the time it was just Xbox. Eventually got to PC.
So yeah, this is a game we all played for our book club. Jose, this is one of your favorite games ever. The rest of us have played it for the first time. It was developed by BioWare originally, released July 15th, 2003, came to PC later that year. I guess the best way to do this, it's like we've done backlog episodes several times, and for some reason I cannot remember the format that we usually take, but I think the best way to start would be everyone just kind of give their quick thoughts overall, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound reasonable?
Sure.
And I guess where you played it too for this time around. So
And how much of it you played?
So Jose, you being the number one fan here, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this game? Where did you play it? Did you beat it?
Yeah. Well, I did beat it. I played through it twice because I was not satisfied with the good ending. I played it on PC.
By good ending, do you mean light side ending?
Light side ending, yeah.
I'd say that's a bad ending, but toots around.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it's not very good. Light side ending and dark side ending. I did it on PC. I gotta say the PC port is a little borked, and by a little I mean a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
But I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was pretty good. It threw me back to when I first started playing it, on the original Xbox. Building around force powers and sword fighting as always, because that's kind of the only way you can really play that game and deal damage. Yeah, I mean, I did the there's a mod pack that a bunch of people worked on that adds a bunch of extra like cut content from the original game,
Oh, really?
and they revoiced it and they programmed it so that it would actually be integrated into the game. For the most part,
Oh.
it works really well. So like, there's a lot of extra stuff that I didn't see, obviously, because it was cut from the game. That was cool. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have as much of a problem playing the game, but that's just because I knew how to build my character around it. Like,
Sure.
there's this thing where you actually want to skip leveling up
Yeah,
after
you
a
hold
certain
your
amount of time.
points.
Yeah, because it doesn't let you level up more than level 20, and you want to like have certain powers and other points into other attributes or whatever.
Yeah, because if you save your level up points, because you don't start the game as a Jedi, but eventually you become a Jedi.
Right.
So you can't upgrade your force powers with the points that you got on previous levels.
Yep.
So if you save those points until you become a Jedi, then you can use them.
Exactly.
I read about that, but I didn't do it.
I imagine that makes the beginning of the game more
a lot
difficult.
harder. Yeah, a whole lot harder actually. Because you don't have as much HP, you don't deal as much damage, so you kind of have to like cheese your way through it, or try to find alternative ways to take out the enemies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Adam, tell me about your thoughts on KOTOR, where you played it and how much of it you played.
Played it on PC. I will agree. The PC version is got some issues,
It's pretty
mainly
whack.
with my guy not being able to move a lot of the time after dialogue.
Interesting.
Yep.
I had to cheese it by like switching over to different characters who were allowed to walk for some. I'm like, yeah, no matter what input I put in, you just stay perfectly still, which was kind of dumb. So some
That
kind of
does sound
weird,
dumb.
some kind of really weird bug. But I only got to Tatooine because it got. I think Jeff is with me on this. It kind of got to a certain point where I died like 20 times in a row, and there just seemed like there was no way I was getting out of my situation, and it just stopped being fun for me. Because I think like Jose is kind of hitting the nail on the head with this. It seems like one of those games where like you need to play it a certain way for it to be more fair in a sense, but you only kind of know that if you've played it before or you look it up, like what's the correct build kind of thing. That's kind of the vibe I got from this. Like, oh yeah, it'd probably be fun if I knew what I was supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
But to kind of go in, it kind of had this feeling of like I feel this would be a lot easier and I wouldn't die as much if I knew the correct way to be building things.
Yeah, I vibe with that for sure.
Like it's kind of an illusion of choice, but there's only like yes, you can choose the different things, but there's only one that's gonna be good for you.
All
Like
right.
I read like the part I got stuck at. I read online like, oh, you want to make sure all your guys have blasters equipped. Like, well, I chose the basic stat option, so I suck at using blasters. So like, with the current team I have, I just can't win this. It looks like
Hmm.
it kind of like I got stuck with that a lot because by the time my guys with lightsabers ran over, I died. So it kind of felt like there's no way for me to physically win this.
Mhm. Hmm.
Derek,
So
Derek, what was your experience like?
So, I started originally on PC.
Oh yes,
stopped.
I remember
Yeah,
this.
I think we had to cut. I went on a little bit of a rant, and we had to cut this out of a previous episode. So I started on PC and had a pretty miserable time. Was basically about to give up, and then I decided to download it on Xbox because there's you can play it backwards compatible on the Series X, and it's Xbox backwards, whatever they call it, enhanced or whatever. So it actually runs a little bit better. And I was like, oh wow, I actually like this game now. It actually felt like I could play the game. So I didn't have any problems with this game until the very end. Most of the time, like if I made a mistake, died or whatever, it felt like I just played that battle wrong and needed to restart, whatever. This is one of those games where it's you literally save every 30 seconds because you never know when a decision or like just like choosing a blaster over a lightsaber might screw you over. Choosing the wrong party member, whatever. What I ended up learning in the very end was it also helps to have multiple saves going at once, because if you only have one save and the save doesn't load anymore, you are screwed. So yeah, I got all the way to the end of the last battle, not to the end of the game. I was about to face the last battle, and I had saved and turned off my Xbox because I was going to do it the next day. I went to turn on my Xbox in the morning, went to play it, and I sat on the loading of my save screen for about 30 minutes before I said, well, I guess like my save
killed
is
it.
broken.
It's
The only
dead.
other save I had was I saved just before basically one of the big choices in the game, and because I was like, I think I want to do both endings. So, but that happening and that last part of the game killed my enthusiasm for it so much, I deleted my saves off of the Xbox and deleted the game from my hard drive. So I effectively played 99% of this game, and I
Yeah.
really tried. I really tried to beat it.
Andrew.
So I beat it. And I think for the most part this game is incredible. I think it's doing so much with its narrative and its writing and its character and its world building. It is a fantastic Star Wars game, which none of us have really said thus far.
Mhm.
That being said, there's certainly many, many instances of this game that are incredibly frustrating and, for lack of a better word, bullshit. There are several there was a moment where I was convinced I was done. I was like, I'm not going to play this anymore. I'm going to look up the story on YouTube. I started to look up the story, and then in the first 5 minutes of me watching that video, I saw the guy do what I needed to do to progress, and I was like, oh, if I knew it was that easy, then I'll just continue and then play from there. And from then, I had a great time. I never had a problem with like massive difficulty spikes for the most part. I was able to get through everything just from tinkering around with the mechanics and the systems. And from the get-go, I chose to build my character a certain way and really focus in on that one build path, and it worked out for me. The only part there were like a couple moments that I really had trouble with. One of them being Jose, you'll know the fight, and Derek, the fight on the Sith planet where Malik's new apprentice comes out and he's like, I have to kill you. And I had trouble with that fight because, like you said, Derek, I didn't have a save state late enough where I would have been able to prepare for it. So my only option was sit in the menus and try and do as much as I can to win this fight. And eventually I think I had to switch the game to easy for that. But other than that, I was fine. And then the final boss was complete horseshit.
So, I think that fight happens randomly.
Really?
I think it has a trigger, but it can happen on any planet because I'm pretty sure that fight happened for me on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, so
Really?
it depends on
Yeah.
where you are in the story and like which which.
So it just
planet you
like
go
the
to.
order of planets.
Yeah, so like if you go
Gotcha.
to a certain one, you'll get him first. I think it's like Darth Bandon or some stupid thing like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And then if you go to a different planet instead, you'll get Calo Nord instead. So like in my playthrough,
Yeah.
I
Well,
got
because you
Calo
fight
Nord.
both.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. I got Calo Nord in Korriban, was it? The
Yep.
Sith planet?
Yeah.
And then I got Darth Bandon in Kashyyyk.
Okay. So yeah,
Gotcha.
they do have because I had
Yeah.
a similar problem to you in
I
that fight,
fought-
Andrew.
Yeah, I fought Kalo Nord on Tatooine.
Okay. Yeah. Where did I? I might have fought him
Nord-
on
Cal Nord was
The-
actually the
other
fight that I
planet.
couldn't get through.
Oh,
Yeah, on oh really?
Yeah, it was
The
on
water
Tatooine
planet.
because I had all lightsabers. So like I just run him and then all of a sudden, oh wait, all my guys are dead. And then I can't deal damage to him somehow.
Mhm.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually I'm gonna halt myself because Jeff, why don't you tell us your general thoughts on the game first?
all right. General thoughts. This is one of the greatest stories in the Star Wars universe. It was super cool. For some reason, in the back of my head, I already knew the twist, even though I had never played this game to any extent. I don't remember anyone talking about it. Just in the back of my head, I knew the twist the whole time. But playing this game is boring as fuck. This is one of the most painful video games to actually play. I hated my entire experience of interacting with any of the interfaces or like physically going through. The combat sucks ass. The dialogue, like, why do the aliens, like, if someone who is speaking common or English or whatever to you says something, they say it in the appropriate amount of time to say it in English. But if an alien were to say that same exact thing, it takes 3 times as long. Why?
That's because they only recorded 3 like voice lines for each alien language.
Yeah.
Like there was a
Legitimate-
conversation. There's a quest that I encountered later on in the game with a Twi'lek, and you have to talk to him multiple times. And I just noticed after like a minute of talking to him, I was like, he's just repeating the same things over and over.
So like, but why not time it? Be like, okay, this takes 10 seconds to say in English or whatever language the game is localized for, and then just have 10 seconds of alien talk. I don't know. It baffled me. Anyways,
Yeah.
I was.
Well, that's not really how languages work, though, Jeff.
But you can make it work in a video game. Anyways, I thought this game was boring as shit. But when I went and I only played it for, I didn't even become a Jedi. I didn't get that far.
Yeah,
Um,
I the spot where I almost quit was on Terrace, Jeff. So I was very
Yeah.
similar location to you.
I was at the end of Terrace. I think I don't remember who the guy I was fighting. I don't remember anything about this game. I'm gonna do absolute ass at trivia.
Yeah, Jose's gonna wipe the floor with you guys.
But
Mhm.
yeah, playing this game sucked. But it's a really cool story, and watching the story on YouTube
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah, the story is awesome, and like back to what you said about the dialogue. One thing that really pissed me off was like this was on Tatooine specifically. I'm trying to figure out, okay, who do I have to talk to progress the story? Turns out I had talked to the right person. The thing that bothered me the most is that the story does not progress unless you pick the correct dialogue options in the correct order. That really
Interesting.
bothered me. Like I
Like-
could be talking to the correct person, but unless I said the correct things or asked the right questions, I would just move on. Like, oh, they didn't say anything. I guess I need to go talk to someone else. But no,
Well,
it
I
was the right
think-
person.
I think the heart of this game lies in its dialogue, though. The amount, and it's part of the role playing too, because there's a lot of options in dialogue trees where you can, instead of just asking the number one default questions, you can try and persuade somebody, or if you have a dark side build, you can try and force persuade them. And I thought all of that was really, really cool, and they can lead to some different outcomes, albeit, none of them have significant impact on the outcome of the game because it's ultimately one single choice that determines which ending you get.
Mhm.
But in terms of role playing, which I think the most fun way to play this game is to role play, and it's indicative of that because this has a D&D system with its combat. Its stats are ripped straight from D&D. They're the 6 stats:
You got
intelligence,
strength, yeah.
wisdom, strength, dex, constitution, and charisma. And its damage is rolled by dice. Like
Yeah.
it says in the game, like this weapon does like 2d4 damage,
Mhm.
It's literally
So-
like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Which
which
part of the reason the
is
combat
I think is
wasn't-
really bad way to do your combat, but for the role playing part, great.
That's the thing is this game was built in an age, right, where Western RPGs were starting to come into existence, and I think at this point every single Western RPG was built off of like a D&D, like a D6 or a D20 system. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Morrowind, which came out around the same time, also has a behind the
Was it?
scenes. It literally rolls like a D20, and this is how much damage you do on your swing. Like while it's not as action based, it's a little more active than Knights of the Republic. It's it's all based on this. I'm pretty sure the next next two BioWare games up to probably before Mass Effect came out are all based on a very similar build system. Like the way, it's all based on those D&D stats, and like this was the beginning of RPGs being made in like that weren't JRPGs.
Yeah,
So
and
it's-
and it definitely shows its age. There's a lot of
Yeah.
growing pains, and it's like you said, Jeff. It's the criticism I have with every game, it seems. But I love what this game was doing at its time. But playing it in 2021 feels like pure garbage at points.
Yeah, my main issue with the D&D system is it's an older version of D&D. It's not like the 5th edition, so it's very heavy on the what are referred to as the save or suck effects. Like you failed a saving throw, you're dead. You rolled poorly.
Yeah,
And that was happening to me with a lot of fights, and why I was getting really annoyed because there's one issue on Tatooine. I run into some Sith guys. They force stun me. I failed to save. I need to sit there for like what feels like most of the fight, not doing anything. There's nothing I can do about it.
We can switch to another character.
yeah. You can switch to different characters.
switch to other characters and do those.
But here's the thing: all 3 of them are stunned.
Well,
Yeah, and I think that another one of this game's biggest flaws is also indicative of its time in that it explains nothing to you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There's
none
like
of the systems are
So many quintessential mechanics that it does not explain to you whatsoever. Like, I don't know if you noticed, Adam, in the bottom right corner, there's a lot of like these like vials and like adrenaline boosters and shit. Those are really important.
yeah.
Those
Yeah, I
will
figured that out later. Like,
those will
I don't know
make
if
or break the boss fights for you.
Oh, I never used
Yeah.
them.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a funny thing is where that information would have been in the manual, in the sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Like we were talking about Super Metroid 2 weeks ago, and Andrew was
yeah.
like, "Oh, the environmental storytelling, or like the environmental mechanic teaching, and like you need to watch the bird." And it's like, no, you would have had an instruction booklet that said, "This
Yeah.
is how you do the super jump when you get it." And like
but you see, in
that is
KOTOR,
lost
there is
nowadays.
no environmental
Yeah.
storytelling. There's nothing that said. There's no guy you walk up to that says, "Oh, I used the stimulant and it made me fight better." So using the stimulants is really important. Being able to switch characters on the fly is really important.
Pausing,
Pausing,
pausing
yeah,
in combat
pausing
to
because
queue up
you can.
actions.
Yeah, doing that's really important. There's a lot that you just kind of have to discover on your own, and that's I think part of the reason why I ended up enjoying it so much is because I had actually just like fiddled around with a lot of stuff and learned as I went. Um, I want to know, Derek and Jose, what your builds were. I personally did a dark side build, dark side force powers all the way. I was a complete dick to everybody I came across. I think I even missed a party member because I killed her.
Oh boy.
Damn. Oh, did you kill
Juhani.
Juhani?
I killed Juhani, yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame you.
That's
Why?
that was the Jedi who became
She's
a
not
Sith,
great.
right?
Yeah.
She
She
briefly
became a
turns
Sith,
to
and you
dark side
you can turn her back to light or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you show mercy, which Andrew clearly
So-
didn't.
I did not.
I, for the most of the game, was just hitting recommend for everything because I didn't want to put the
Yeah.
time and effort into figuring it out.
That's how I was
And
doing
then
it.
as I got, I think before I got to Korriban, I was like, you know what? Like I kind of want to build dark. Like I want to build a dark. I'm gonna do the dark ending. I want to do a dark side build. So like I'm gonna start being a dick to everybody, and I'm gonna start putting points into dark side talent. So I didn't really get to explore too deep into the dark side stuff, but it didn't matter because I had whatever the stun skill is for lights or
Mhm.
for normal or whatever, which just completely makes the game trivial. And
Yep.
I had force the like third of the force lightning, so I would just stun people and then force lightning them to death, and it made the combat pretty trivial.
Yeah, my focus
Yep.
and see that's sorry. You go ahead, Jose, and then I'll circle back.
Okay. Yep. Derek pretty much explained it pretty well. That's kind of like one of the only easy way to play the game. Like, stun everybody and then force lightning everybody in a big cone in front of you and then rinse and repeat. I did dark side after deciding that I didn't want to do light side. So like half of the game I built for light, and then the other half of the game I was like, screw it, I'm gonna build for dark because I don't care about it anymore. And yeah, I mean, once you figure out the wombo combo, it's kind of really
Yeah.
easy.
See, I failed in that aspect where I didn't like fully realize, like for whatever reason I just never looked at it correctly. I didn't realize which skill was the force lightning skill, so I never leveled it up fully, but the one I focused on was the drain skill, which healed
Yeah,
me.
which is
That's
another
good
really
too, yep.
good.
Yup.
Yeah. So I basically did the same thing where I would stun them or whirlwind them and then heal myself. And I always ran, or at least up until I was able, I only ran my Jedis or my dark side characters. So for a while my party was myself, Bastila, and Canderous. And then once I got Jolie, I ran myself, Bastila, Jolie. And so I would have one of my Jedi focus on being a heal bot, one of them being like a backup if my character fails, and then just go from there. Because Jedis are overpowered in this game.
Yeah, I'd say I ran always like once I got Julie, always Julie, and then HK47 because he is the greatest character.
Yeah,
Really?
let's
I
go.
I never used him.
Oh, he is he's
Dude,
super
HK
good.
is so,
Really?
he's
He's
insanely good and
insane.
he's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love
did-
it
I
when he
did
calls
notice-
everybody a meatbag.
I did love his dialogue in the cutscenes I had him in.
Yeah, the main
Yeah, he's
reason I
great.
used him was to take the diplomatic approach with the Sand People. 'Cause he
see, I
speaks
killed
their-
all the sand people,
Yeah, he
Yes.
speaks.
and then
I
we
was-
got him.
He speaks their language, so it's the only way to translate and actually take the diplomatic light side approach. Because I'm a Jedi, man. I wanted to be a Jedi until I got sick
Yeah.
of all the gameplay of this. Because I agree, the story is fun. The gameplay made me not want to play it at all, which is
Yeah.
my main issue with it. I had to cut the cord because I realized I could finish this, but it's not going to be fun. I'm going to look. I'm
Right.
going to have to look at a guide to get through this entire game. I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, I think the coolest part about this game is how many different options there are to play it in terms of how you build your character, how you interact with dialogue, how you can even tackle scenarios in fighting enemies. Like I believe even as early as the sewers on Terrace, there's like this really big creature that you can either try and kill, but probably going to be pretty hard, or you can, like, I watched a video, you can put grenades in its nest and then it'll walk over to its nest and just explode.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do that. I fought him.
So like
The-
one of the biggest parts of the game is actually reading the data pads that you pick
I
up.
was gonna say.
Like
Yeah.
the data pad that you get from the severed arm right before the Rancor fight says if we stuff grenades into the pile of dead bodies, it'll eat it and it'll blow up. Like, or because it gives you pheromones or something. Like it has like
Yeah,
some
you need to
pheromones.
stack both the pheromones and the grenades
And a
in
grenade.
the same body.
Yeah. So like you get those tips from the data pads, but 90% of the players, don't really give a fuck about like
Yeah.
reading.
I noticed
fine.
that,
I
and,
didn't read shit.
but I had to look up how to actually do it because I didn't know you could put things in a container.
Yeah, like there's a button to like give instead of take,
Hmm.
but it's like who is willingly using lockers in the Ebon Hawk, who isn't just stuffing everything into their pockets.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
taking
there's
everything they
no
can.
there's no inventory
Yeah,
cap,
there's no
right?
inventory system, so
yeah.
or
So it's
cap,
kind
yeah.
of a pointless mechanic, except for that one scenario
Yeah.
where I can't believe you actually beat the Rancor. Because like
So here's what I did: is I just used a blaster character and lured it out until it would start circling back, and then deal a bunch of, and then like queue up 3 skills, and then run away, and then repeat that.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah.
No,
So
I just
that's what
blew
I'm
it up.
saying. There's so many different strategies that you can apply to get through this game, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the ways. That's one of the coolest things about it. Should we? Do you think we should outline the story real quick, since that's a,
Yeah,
a
might
big
as well.
focus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best part of the game, and there's like one of the most iconic twists in all of video
Yeah.
games happens here, which is really cool.
So I was like you, Jeff. I thought I knew the twist. I was like, I know the twist. Yeah. So I thought I knew it the whole time, and then it turns out I didn't know it, and I got like this double mind blow of like, whoa, I was wrong, and also, whoa, this is a great twist. It was
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I was kind of the same way, where like I vaguely remembered, like, oh, this is like this is what happens in this game, right? But then like for some reason when I got to it, I was just like, I did not see this coming at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Eric, what was your initial thing?
I thought Bastila was Darth Revan.
Oh,
gotcha.
okay.
Yeah, because
Okay,
it was
so-
like all this coincidence. It's like, well, she was there when he died, so like, okay, yeah, that like,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think I heard
So-
that before. So
So let's get into it. Who wants to? Does anyone have any strong feeling on doing it?
On giving the
Um,
rundown?
On outlining it.
Pass.
Well, yeah, I figured it would be out of me, Derek Jose.
I mean, I can do it.
Yeah,
Sure, go for
it's
it.
Jose's
Sure.
like favorite, so let him do it.
Sure. So, do we want just like key points or?
Yeah, let's do key
yeah.
points.
Like a brief rundown, hit all the important moments.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
with on our Ghost of Tsushima spoiler cast, we just talked about what the story was for
The whole
like
time.
30 minutes.
yeah,
Okay. So, you wake up at a Republic starship. You're being attacked. You make your way through that, and you go down into the planet under you with
Yeah.
Carthonasi, which is
Yeah.
one of the remaining dudes.
This is very important. You are like an avatar character. You
Yeah.
make your own character from scratch, customizable, appearance. You have amnesia when you wake up. There we go.
Yeah. So you know nothing. You're just going in blind. You gotta trust in this dude Karth, who is like some decorated war hero from the Republic.
Yep.
You learn that you have to rescue Bastila, which is one of the most important Jedi in the entire Star Wars universe at that particular moment because of her Jedi ability called Battle Meditation, which has the power to turn tides in war, like literally. It just makes everybody just perform better. in
Is
the
that what
fights.
it is? I always thought it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
her
I
just
have-
like analyzing the situation and then giving instructions on how to
No.
better execute it.
Ah.
So she's
No,
literally
she
just
directly manipulates it.
Oh,
yeah.
weird.
She's a bard.
Yeah, like she's super powerful with that.
Yeah, just her presence makes your armies fight better.
Yeah, well, she actually like uses the Force and meditates, but pretty much. Either way, you make your way through Terrace, you meet a bunch of different characters, namely this big drug lord called Davik Kang, who has the means to escape Terrace because it's under Sith quarantine. You escape Terrace and kill Davik in the process, and you take a couple of people with you. Um,
You rescue
and
Bastila.
you rescue Bastila, of course. You okay? So you enter a race, a swoop gang race. In the
On Terrace.
it was on Terrace, but what was the Undercity?
Like the
was it? No,
Undercity. I think it's just
Yeah.
called like the
Lower
Undercity.
City.
Yeah.
the Lower City,
Lower
Lower
City, yeah,
Terrace,
there you go.
whatever. You join that race,
Gang.
and then you like perform better than everybody. You rescue Bastila. She breaks out, and then you kill like a drug lord or something. Then you get the ship. Then you escape, and then you go to Dantooine to seek Jedi Council and like see what it is that you have to do. They're reluctant to take you because they sense the force being strong in you or whatever, and they're like really wary about taking you in for training for some ambiguous reason or another. You train as a Jedi. You learn about the star map, which is turns out to be a fragment of the whole thing. You have to go to 4 different planets to get a different pieces to eventually lead you to something called the Star Forge. So you go to these planets, and of course, like every character that you take with you will have like their own little story progression with there are certain backstories. Like Bastila, for example. I don't know if either of you guys did it, but you actually get to meet like Bastila's family, and you get to like find out like what happened to her parents and what's going on with her mother, etc., etc. And same with Mission, like you get to see her
Brother.
her brother.
Dumbest
and-
name for a character.
Yeah.
He never
so
gave me the credits he owed me.
no, lame bastard. So you find the star maps. You go through all 4 different planets, which are Tatooine. You find that star map with a crate dragon, which you have to lure out using Bantha. Then you go to Manon, or you can go to Manon. It's a big aquatic planet. It's like 99% water or something like that. And you have to be on your best behavior at all times. You can't, have any conflict at all whatsoever. Otherwise, you risk getting arrested or executed or worse. You have to break into the Sith embassy and find proof that the Sith are conspiring against Manon to get them shut down, and then you get into the Republic embassy and do a favor for them. Then you go to the ocean floor where you see a bunch of like crazy Selkath who are like riled up by this giant Phyrexian shard, I think is what it's called, or Paraxa shard, whatever it is.
Yeah.
This really, really big shark that turns out to be like one of its distant ancestors or whatever. You choose whether you actually want to poison it and kill it, or destroy the facility and save it. And then you find the star map there. After you deal with all of that, you can go to Korriban, which is a Sith planet. You get to go through this big Sith academy and do a bunch of trials and gain prestige with the master. And then it'll lead you eventually to a tomb, which that tomb I believe is called the Tomb of Naga Sato. It has a bunch of trials that you got to go through, and then you eventually unlock the Starforge, which then once you come back, you have to decide which side you're taking. You can take out one or the other or both of the people with you, but depending on what you do, you risk incurring the wrath of the entire academy. After that, you go to the last place, or it can be the last place. You go to Kashyyyk. You learn about slavers and about the Zerka Corporation taking Wookiees as slaves and selling them off to distant planets or whatnot. You meet the leader of the Wookiees called Chundar, I think. think that was his name. And
You're
then
really lucky that none of these have been trivia questions.
am I going too in depth with this?
I would say a little bit with all the proper nouns and names for shit.
Okay.
But
Has he actually hit
but,
any trivia questions yet?
one.
Ooh, yikes! Sorry.
It has since been rectified.
Okay. I'll
Well,
dial
Anyway,
back.
out of
you may
curiosity.
you may continue. Oh, I was at how you rescued Bastila. I wanted to include one that I thought at least most of you would get.
Sorry. Whoops. Okay, I'll dial it back.
No, you're good.
Wookiee Chief, you do him a favor. You meet other Wookiee, then you choose whether you're going to help the other guy take over or kill some other guy, and then you get the star map. And then once you get to the star map, you stranded in a planet. You meet the civilization there, or the race of the aliens that manage the entire thing. And
I think one important thing I think you skipped over is
You skipped the
between
twist.
between the
Oh,
third and
yeah.
the fourth planet is when the
reveal.
Leviathan,
Okay.
you get captured or whatever.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's, like,
so
that's the twist.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
so between the third and fourth planet, you get captured by Malik. You get taken to a ship. You choose a person who is going to help you escape the torture chambers or whatever, and you make your way through that, and you learn that you are indeed the Sith Lord that they were taking out. You're Darth Revan, and all of a sudden, your partner Karth doesn't trust you, and you gotta explain it to your crewmates or whatever. Malik makes his escape with Bastila. She quote unquote sacrifices herself to stall him for time, so that you guys can escape. Then after you go through the fourth planet, and or rather, when you're on your way to the fourth planet, you tell everybody on the ship, and you get like mixed results, but for the most part, nobody really cares, which is kind of funny. After that, you go through the fourth planet, then you go to the Starforge or try to get to where the Starforge is. Your ship gets sucked into another planet. You go through that planet, do some favors for some people. They let you in to the temple. You kill a bunch of Sith in the temple. Then you end up fighting Bastila, who's been turned to the dark side. And then that's where you choose whether you actually want to be a good guy and try to get Bastila on the light side, or if you want to betray everybody and return to the dark side as Darth Revan. And that's like the pivotal moment of the entire story. After that, depending on what you choose, you either take Bastila with you to the Starforge, or you take your people with you to the Starforge. And then you make your way through that. You meet Bastila again. If you're on the light side. If not, you fight some 3 goons who don't even stand a chance. And then you make your way up to Darth Malik, which has a horrible fight. And then
Oh yeah.
you conquer or save the universe. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Is
So-
there a canonical ending? Is like the light side the canonical one, or is there no
Yes.
definitive?
I don't think there's a definitive ending to this game, because
Okay.
the actual lore with Darth Revan is way different. He ends up as a gray Jedi.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
So, yeah. I guess one thing I want to talk about with the story is and specifically with the Grey Jedi stuff, is this game did stuff that the sequel trilogy was leading up to, with like, like after episode 8, yeah, the Jedi suck. They don't do good things. Like, they captured this guy and brainwashed him, and like, it's like, that's dark shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the Jedi aren't always good. They do some questionable things. And then like
Yeah.
you got the people going back and forth between the light and the dark side, and like living in this middle zone. Like, your character can live in this middle zone, which is like the idea is that the sequel trilogy we're going to, and then episode 9 came out and they're like, haha, fuck you.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going with it for a while. Like, hey, if you don't want these bad guys to be here, you can't really have the good guys either. You need something in the middle. like, one won't exist without the other being there.
Anyways, so yeah, as a Star Wars story, it's really cool, really interesting. It does some
Really cool.
yeah, it does some
Absolutely.
really interesting stuff that you don't see really much else of in the Star Wars universe.
I feel like the only time you ever get like a slight glimpse into like the ethics of the Jedi and like whether they're making good choices is in the prequels, and at that point the story is just so concentrated on Anakin's turn to the dark and like the Sith's re-rise to power that you don't really get to see like you don't get the full impact of like how the Jedi's decisions actually led to this. It was, the bad decisions made by the Jedi that kind of lead to this happening. And so it's that was I think my favorite thing about the story is that it's the like that's why it was so satisfying to return to the dark side. It was because it was just like, you idiots, you thought this could work and it didn't. Like, you thought you could brainwash somebody and like make them your slave, their pawn or whatever, and guess what? It backfired on you, and now I am back as the Sith Lord.
But the light side ending would work too. And
Right.
that's, I think, what's so brilliant about this game is that every like choice, every alignment, every like option that's presented to you makes sense within the context of the story. The you are Revan reveal, like, I strangely didn't see it coming. Like, I always thought I knew that, like, oh, you play as Darth Revan in KOTOR. But as soon as they like, I made my own character and they were like, oh, you're just some nameless guy. But then they spend the entirety of the game talking up Darth Revan. Darth Revan is mentioned in text so much and in dialogue by other characters that by the time it gets to the reveal that you are Darth Revan, it adds so much context to everything that you have done previously and stuff before the game starts. And it makes not only every choice that you've made up until that point mean more, but also every choice you make after and every interaction after. It's like, it's such a cool moment, easily my favorite moment of this game, maybe in all of video games for me. Like, I fucking loved that reveal.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like this game is like the beginning of BioWare's like best storytelling. I think they do a great job of making both sides, like you're saying, both sides plausible, and they do that throughout like the next few games. I feel like it isn't until maybe like Dragon Age 3 where the writing kind of takes a dip and like both sides, like I don't even know if there is a both sides option in Dragon Age 3, but like this Dragon Age Origins, Jade Empire, Mass Effect, it all has this kind of like both decisions make sense in the end. Like your decision, everything makes sense and is well written and it all plays out really well.
Yeah. And it's like the way that this game skirts the line in your character choices too, with, like you were saying, how Jedi and Sith, dark side, light side, are not parallels for good and evil. And at least that is the message that it's trying to convey and what we thought the sequels were trying to convey. And you can really exemplify that by by looking at it from different perspectives, right? Like the Jedi took a man who was their enemy, brainwashed him into an amnesiac state, and then tried to enforce their will upon him throughout like the course of the game. And then it's crazy because as you go through the game, every time you choose a dark side option in dialogue and in combat, every time you kill somebody, Bastila gives you shit. She's like, hey, stop doing that. Like, that's not what a Jedi would do, And so it's like they're trying so hard to impose themselves onto you. And then it's like you said, Derek, to play Darkseid and see it blow up in their face like that was really funny.
Yeah.
But it's like I guess it still is technically though kind of trying to present it like the Jedi are the good guys, because I think Star Wars like almost can't get away from it, right? Like even though this game takes place thousands of years before any of the movies, I can't help but just see this as another version of the Republic and the Empire. You know, like it just felt that the same to me as the movies do.
Yeah, they
And
just referred like it was it weird to anyone else that the Sith wasn't necessarily like a singular evil force user. It was a group. It was like an army.
Yeah,
it was a movement.
it was just like the
Yeah,
Sith
this-
was just another name for the Empire, and
Yeah.
that was kind of my read on it.
that threw
But I
me
think
off a
that
bit at
This was
first.
long before they the Sith made the rule of 2.
Yeah,
Eventually, they realized if there's too many of us, we just start infighting. There
but
can only
what
be
they
a
weren't
master
even
and an apprentice.
they weren't even like Sith like warriors as we know from the original trilogy or like the movies. It was like Steve who joined the army and is wears his helmet and has a blaster and he's like, "I'm Sith," you know.
I'm-
They had
I'm
more
pretty
Yeah,
sure
it-
stories.
it's-
it was it's just another. It was just the opposing side. It
Yeah.
was that's the big difference, I
Mhm.
think.
It threw
But
me
you
off.
still have the rule of 2, right? Like Darth
The rule of
Revan
2
and
is still
Darth
there, yeah.
Malak were the only like lightsaber users, or not lightsaber users, but like those are the 2 Sith lords, right?
Yep.
Fair enough,
Whereas
yeah.
the Sith is more of like a mindset, I guess. Like
Yeah,
a
it's
movement.
an organization where they actually
Yeah.
have the name attached to it. And yeah, you're right. Like later on, the Empire is pretty much that, but without saying everyone here is Sith.
yeah, it's like the Sith. I guess later on, it's only the Sith are just the Jedi users or the
Well,
lightsaber
right.
users.
In the end, right now in this, there's everyone who's on the Sith can use the dark side.
Yeah.
Whereas in the current, in the movies, only the 2, they are the ones who use the dark side of the Force on the Sith, and no one else does. If they are, they're some kind of outcast that like isn't a part of the Sith anymore, like Darth Maul or yeah, I guess just Darth Maul. Is the only one I
Mostly
can
Maul,
think
because
of.
he was the cockroach of the Star Wars universe for a while, just living
Yeah.
on hatred. Like, should have been dead like 20 times over, but somehow wasn't.
Yeah. I thought. How do you guys feel about Malak as a villain?
Honestly?
I didn't personally interact with him, but from the
He's-
stuff
Truly.
I watched, I thought he was fine.
He was alright. He's kind of lame. Not gonna lie.
He kind of, from what I've seen, just kind of takes the role of this is the bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing exceptional about why he's a villain. He's just is.
Especially with a name like Malak.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
think
one of
he
those.
kind of suffers a little bit because he's in Revan's shadow the other time,
Yeah.
the whole time in the game. Like he never, I think, has his moment to be shown as like this huge. I guess until he like manipulates Bastila to the dark side, he
Mhm.
doesn't seem to like be all that menacing. Like because the whole time they're just talking of how fucking powerful Revan is, and then it turns out you're Revan, so it's like, okay, obviously I can beat Malak if I'm
So, like,
Revan.
yeah, you were this guy's master
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. So it's like I think he kind of loses his. I don't know. He's a good villain, but is he like he's not the true villain because in the end you can become the true villain.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No matter what you do, you're better. You're either a better villain or you're just better and beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the reveal of him having no lower jaw. That was cool.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that was
Yeah, that
like
was-
That
that
was a
was
cool
crazy.
little moment. You're just like, oh, weird.
Yeah. It was like
Um,
in a way it felt like they
trope.
were doing it just to show it because like he was covered the whole time, but at the same time seeing it was like cool and like whoa, that's like a weird fucked up thing.
So I think the next logical place to take this conversation is all of the talks about a remake for this game.
Mhm.
That's true.
How would we feel about the remake? The talks are that it's going to be more of an action combat based game. Think along the lines of, I don't know, Force Unleashed or Jedi Fallen Order. Probably, obviously not specifically like those, but something in those realms as opposed to the turn based D&D stuff that we got here. What do we think about that?
I would
think
love
it would-
that.
Yeah, I think it would solve pretty much all of this game's most blatant problems. And
Exactly.
like
Agreed.
an interface upgrade comes with the territory, so
Yeah.
that's really the only other blatant thing. Maybe even like, I think if they really wanted to perfect it, they could go as far as to recording some new voice lines.
Yeah,
I
for
think that's
maybe
the
some of
level
alien
that it would
races.
be. I think
Yeah,
it
I
would
think
be
it's
like
a
a
full
full
remake.
remake, like Final
Full
Fantasy VII
remake.
remake style.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
if they just do those three things and leave the story mostly the same, I think that'll be a fucking
Fantastic.
It'd be a
Shepherd.
masterpiece.
that'd be
Yeah.
yeah, that would be.
I
Because
agree.
honestly,
Video
that
game.
like the combat was the worst part of it for me because it just felt like, oh yeah, it was too reliant on the D&D save or suck mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
oh, all my characters failed this save, so now I have to sit here and do. Like, it almost felt like at a certain point with the computer rolling on the numbers, I did not have much of an active role
Yeah.
in how the combat was gonna go.
I mean, Derek, you were even saying when you got really good at it, you had a point where you're like, oh yeah, I knew the fight was going to take 10 minutes, but I knew I didn't have to do anything, so I just put down the controller and walked away and went to the bathroom
Yeah.
and got something to eat. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's not engaging for
yeah,
me.
that's like, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
But that's also literally only one battle in the game. And
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was a regular thing or not.
if you have, I don't know if you can have Destroy Droid by that point. No, because I think it's on Is it on Dantooine that you do that?
I don't know.
I
But
don't
here's the
remember,
thing
but-
too, like for me, like the whole Jedi fantasy, like involves like moving around in combat, being acrobatic. So for me, the whole
Right.
no,
wasn't really doing it. for
Adam
me.
is
Product
mining
of its
very
time.
slow attacks for the and
Yeah.
listening to the podcast.
You know
Oh,
what?
right. I
think.
forgot we're a podcast for a second.
I forget every day.
Well, we're live currently.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, that was
deal.
more. That was yes. The slow like I'm gonna whack you. It didn't really work. Also, I had just gotten off of like beating Jedi Fallen Order, so I was very
Right.
biased by just
Yeah.
how good of a Star Wars game that was
But
and how
see,
good
the
the
thing,
combat felt.
the thing I think this game has over Jedi Fallen Order is that it is a better Jedi fantasy for Force powers. Because,
is,
like
yes.
Derek said, the Force lightning and the like, just the breadth of it. Like, there's a number of light side powers. There's also a number of dark side powers, and they do a lot of different things that are really cool. Like you were saying, destroy droids, and the whirlwind that I brought up earlier is a cool one. There's a lot of cool stuff.
You want a
You can-
power trip from
You can
Force powers?
brainwash people.
Force Unleashed, man.
Yeah.
That game is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah,
Also,
I love Force Unleashed.
the one thing I want to bring up is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast came out 2 years before this game and is significantly better in my opinion. It still has a pretty cool story, obviously not to the level of this game because this game's story is like what carries it, but the gameplay mechanics of you are this guy Kyle Katarn, it's basically what it seemed like they were going to do with Finn in the sequel trilogy but then backed off of. He was a stormtrooper. I think he was just a stormtrooper in the Empire, defected, somehow became a Jedi, was like, this is awesome, and then something happened. I think his partner died, and he's like, all right, I'm done being a Jedi, and then he left. And then at the beginning of this game, something happens, and he's like, I gotta be a Jedi again. So it starts with you just like using guns and stuff, and then you get to like the Temple of the Jedi or whatever, and he like relearns all of his stuff, and you slowly get all these cool Force powers, and there's like 3 different lightsaber fighting styles that you can cycle between, and like depending on who you're fighting, different styles do better. It's a really cool game. So I just wanted to shout out that game because I think it's better than this game, and they came out around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're just about at the end of this conversation, unless there's any really big thing that someone wanted to bring up that we didn't hit on.
No, I think we're mostly covered.
Yeah,
it.
that kind of wraps it up. But we need to give it a ranking, right? We need to
That's
give it
right. So that's what we're about to go.
I want to ask my thing, which is, what was your guys' favorite moment from the game, and why was it the Revan reveal?
My favorite moment was when I turned it off and didn't have to play it anymore.
Sure.
And then
Yeah,
after that, it was the Revan reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this gets a good looking remake, I would definitely love to play it. But yeah, all in all, the combat just took me out of it. It was just not fun and engaging for me. I don't like games like that.
Yeah.
Favorite moment that I got to? I don't know. Blowing up the Rancor with grenades is kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good. I respect it. That's a really cool use of the game's mechanics.
Derek?
I don't. I guess. I mean, I don't know. The Revan reveal is the like big
Yeah.
moment.
Like that,
I
that's
think
the show.
I think it's perfectly acceptable to just say the Revan moment because I fucking love it.
I did like. I did think Korriban was cool. Korriban was my favorite planet. I liked
Absolutely,
going
I
in
agree.
and like being in the Sith world. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. I like that. So, longer moment would be Korriban.
I agree.
Jose,
Yeah.
is it just the Revan reveal?
No, mine is Sunry's trial in Manan.
The trial is a cool
Which
moment
one?
as well.
Which
So-
part is that?
That's when you if you have Jolie Bindo with you and you
Uh-huh.
go to Manan,
Yeah.
or rather,
just
anytime
like-
you go to Manan, there's this lady who's asking for help for Jolie. Essentially, one of his old friends got arrested by the Manan
Uh-huh.
police or whatever, and you're trying to find evidence to get him out of jail or whatever, and it turns into like this whole like detective investigation thing.
Mm-hmm.
You find out like there's a lot of different angles to this story. There's not just like clear cut like he shot her and that was it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
I think I started that.
Yeah, it's a long like side quest, but I think it's like one of the more engaging quests in the entire game, and it's absolutely satisfying when you get the right ending. Once you have all of the information presented to you,
Sweet.
it's pretty fun.
All right. Let's give our ratings. Jose, if you didn't know, we do ratings 1 through 5. 1 being this is unplayable, don't play it at all. 2 being play it if you're a fan of the genre or source material. 3 being this is a decent game. 4 being this is a really good game. And then 5 being this game's incredible, you have to play it. So with that in mind, what would you give this game,
yeah.
Jose?
Our
Four.
one word descriptions are bad, fine, good, excellent, must play.
Excellent.
All right. Derek?
So, rehearing you go through our descriptions, I think I have to give it a 2.
Okay.
Wow.
You should only play this game if you really like those classic like D&D style old like Western RPGs, and if you really like Star Wars.
Adam?
I'll give it a 3 because while I agree with Derek, it does have a really good story. So if you can get past the mechanics, you can enjoy it for that reason.
Andrew?
I really want to give it a 5 because I really, really like this game, but I don't think I can in good conscience do that, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't bring myself to a 5.
Yeah. I think it has, in its current state, it has too many problems.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 2. I'm with Derek. Only play this game if you're a super fan of old school D&D combat in video games, or if you're a massive Star Wars fan. If you're a massive Star Wars fan, don't even play the game. Just watch it on YouTube. This game is one of
Or
the
wait for a remake.
least fun experiences I've had playing a game in a very long time. I believe that makes the aggregate a 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Nice.
it's
I'm
two,
happy with
two
that.
Yes.
fours and a 3. So
All right.
smack in the middle.
So the Game Sharks have officially gave KOTOR a 3 out of 5.
Yes.
All right. We have something to do. Right
Well, I mean, didn't we? You have to pick a. Wait, what is that?
That is my
Oh,
my Bard cup.
is that what you switched it to?
Yeah, I don't know where the hat is. Well, I
Oh.
wore the hat sometimes, so I didn't keep
okay.
it in the physical hat all the time. But there's only one piece of paper in here,
Yeah.
and the
'Cause
game
we've,
is
we've already decided which one it's gonna be.
The World. This is not going to work. The world ends with you.
Cuphead strike through.
Just crossed it out.
Not Cuphead.
I'm gonna play Cuphead instead.
We'll play Cuphead eventually.
Cuphead's on the list eventually. Yeah, we're playing The World Ends With You. We decided to jump this up the list just because the sequel is coming out, and I wanted you guys to experience it so that you had the chance to play the sequel if you like the original. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get your hands on a copy of a DS version and play it on your DS. Do not play the Switch version. Do not play the phone version. It's unique. Combat mechanics are dependent on being a dual screen game. Jose, do you have any interest of playing The World Ends With You with us, or is this one a little too much out of your wheelhouse?
I don't even really know what it is.
It's a JRPG by Square Enix for the DS. It was a cult classic, and there's a sequel coming out later this year, or a prequel, I think, technically.
if buying the DS version is too much trouble, then hey, by all means, play the Switch version and tell us how bad it sucks.
That's true.
I don't know.
You
I'll
don't
get
have to
back to you
play
on
it. I'm not expecting you to play it, but if you wanted to, feel free.
Yeah, you can sit this one out if you want, and we'll phone you up for the next game.
The
But
rest of
okay.
you have
to
to
you.
do it though.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Andrew. So
Oh, yeah.
originally we were going to be doing this episode last week when I wasn't going to be here. So Andrew had trivia made up, but we ended up pushing it back a week. So Andrew's still going to lead trivia because I also don't know dick about this game.
That's right. So Jose is about to destroy all of you.
All right.
Yep, 100%.
So Andrew, are you keeping score on your end, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can keep score.
All right. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
Yeah, sure. All right. Question number 1. What is the name of the ship you are on when the game starts? Based on the amount of proper nouns and names for things that Jose dropped in his descriptions,
He's gonna
I
know
fully
everything.
expect him to like know everything.
I'm assuming you're gonna have me go first for all of them, so I'm not gonna bother writing anything down.
You bet your sweet bippy I am.
What the fuck is a sweet bippy?
I don't know. Ask Ed from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. You got something, Jeff?
No, but as soon as you call on me, I'm gonna say something.
I'm calling on you.
All right,
Right now.
it is the mantis ray.
All right, Adam, you got something?
Yep, the Ebon Hawk.
Derek,
I think I finally settled on the Revenger.
Jose,
The Ebon Hawk.
that is incorrect.
Correct.
The name of the ship that you start the game on is the Endar
Oh.
Spire.
Oh my god,
Our
right.
Spire. Okay.
Wow,
The
I
Ebon
wasn't
Hawk-
paying
That's
attention.
embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
The
Good
Ebon
rap.
Hawk is the ship that you steal from Kalo Nord.
Oh,
No,
right.
Right.
From
From Davik.
Davik.
But yeah,
Yeah, same thing.
This game
On
has too many
Terrace.
proper nouns.
that's what I
Yeah.
get for not listening.
So many
man.
specifics.
All right, so no
Oh.
points for anybody. Interesting.
I'm still in it, baby. Let's go.
All
Time
right,
for
number
first.
question number 2 though. What is the name of the card game that you can play in cantinas throughout your journey, and also with just like random people in shops and stuff?
I was gonna bring it up during the podcast because it is
it's a
one
card
of
game.
the worst like sub games in an RPG because it's
I
just
tried to
pure
play it.
bullshit luck,
I couldn't figure it out.
and I can't remember the name of it. Fuck. I'm gonna hear it and get me so mad.
Yep. As soon as I hear it, it's gonna click. But
Do you know it, Jose?
Yep.
Yeah,
I do
it
know
too.
this one.
You know
for
it
sure.
too.
All right, Jeff.
Make
I'll
Ad-
give you
make
5
Adam
more
go
seconds.
first.
no, you make Jeff go first.
Make Adam go first.
Make Jeff go first. Jeff, rock paper scissors for it.
Okay,
Derek,
ready?
what's the name of the
Rocks,
card game?
paper, scissors, shoot. His was delayed. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I wasn't
I-
looking at you, Derek. what's
swear I did
Derek?
paper.
Whatever.
Calling
Well,
on Derek.
I know the answer. They should have
Oh,
to go first. if
okay,
they don't
fine.
know it.
Fuck you, Jeff. What is it?
It's poker.
Adam,
Yeah, I'm channeling Uncle Iroh, Pie Show.
Derek,
Zach.
Jose.
Yep, Zach.
You guys both had P's.
Poker and Buzz Show.
That game was
Pie
so
Show.
dumb.
When in
Wait,
doubt, Uncle
do I have to
Iroh.
show my answer for so
No,
Corey
I
doesn't think
believe
we're
you.
cheating.
Okay, so Jose and Derek have 1 point.
Well, I never even bothered playing the game. Was it that bad?
Yeah,
it was
did
awful.
I.
It's
it
pretty
was
bullshit.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I never
Okay.
even bothered. It was just I was so uninterested. Like,
But it
All right.
takes you like an hour to figure out how the goddamn game works, and then you realize like, oh, this is all bullshit RNG that is never in
Yeah.
my favor.
It's supposed to be kind of like blackjack, but it's in no way like blackjack.
Pizzak Jack.
It's blackjack.
All right. Question number 3. How many colors can you have for your lightsaber in this game? And for fun, I'm going to give you a bonus point if you can name all of them. A lot of counting going on right now.
Mhm.
I think I actually know this one.
I threw this one in there because I thought that at least you guys, at least Jeff and Adam will get it.
I have a
Maybe-
guess.
Maybe, hopefully. Jeff didn't actually get to the part where you can equip lightsabers, so
Nope, but I have a guess. Can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. There's 5. It's blue, green, red, yellow, and purple.
Derek.
It's 5. Blue, yellow, red, green, and violet.
Which is
Adam?
purple.
8.
It says violet.
So on top of there being red, violet / purple, whatever, green, blue, and yellow, there's also crystals. I think I read this for orange, silver, and cyan.
Jose.
I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure there's 8. I'm pretty sure it was red, blue, green, yellow, purple, cyan, silver, and shit, what was that last one? I can't remember that last one.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys made me second guess it, so I just googled it, and there are in fact 5 colors.
Okay.
And they are in fact the 5 that Jeff and Derek named.
There's
Amazing.
aren't
said
there
purple,
others?
not
I'm tied with Jose. Wait, no, I get an extra point. I'm beating Jose. Let's
So
go.
are there 8 in KOTOR 2 or something maybe?
I
KOTOR.
know those are
Either
the
that or
colors.
it's just the blade changes a little
Yes.
bit with
in
the
KOTOR 2, there
yeah.
are 8, and they are the
Oh,
ones that Adam
damn it.
mentioned.
Son of a bitch. The
Did-
internet
did,
lied to me.
Did Adam bait you with it, Jose, or did you just remember it the same way?
He had me second guessing because I was gonna originally say the first 5.
Man,
but-
I was reading up on stuff. Never mind.
Oh man.
Okay,
feel
so Jeff and Derek get 2 points. Jose and Adam get none.
I hang my head in shame.
So that makes things a little bit spicy. Derek in the lead with 3 now.
Jeff in second with 2.
Jeff in second with 2. We're gonna have another Adam wins
If
Earthbound
I
on our
win
hands.
this,
All right,
Yeah.
question number 4. What is the name of the Jedi Master who shares a race with Yoda?
uh,
Oh, what was his name?
I got one.
Okay.
Beppis Sportellini.
Master Beppis. Is that your guess, Jeff? Is that your answer?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Adam, you
Yodel.
got anything? You got one?
No. I got
Well,
nothing.
you gotta give me something.
Yoga.
Yoga.
I'm going for laughs, people. That's all I'm good for in trivia
This is
nowadays.
pure chaos.
All right, Derek.
Bort.
Jose.
Master Vandar.
Yeah, that's the one.
Andar. Ah, okay.
Okay, Jose gets another point. Jesus Christ.
What was your answer, Derek? Borp?
Bort.
Borp.
So we had Bort, Yoga, and Beppis Sprontolini. Jesus Christ. All right, question number 5. Which planet is featured in the game that you never actually set foot on?
Oh.
So like they talk about it, but you never actually go
It
there.
is like it's in menus, it's mentioned, but
Okay.
you never set foot on the planet.
Never go there.
You never set foot on it.
Okay, I have my answer.
I got one.
I think I'm wrong, but it's the best guess I have.
All right. Derek and Jose, you guys good?
Hold on. I'm trying to remember the map.
So you said it was mentioned and on
It's
the map?
featured. I said it's in like menus and people talk about it.
Okay.
All right, I've got something.
That's why I thought featured was the best word because it's like. Anyway, Jeff, what's your guess?
Adam's in last place. Excuse you.
Adam also played more of the game, which is what I'm going.
That's
with.
not how the trivia works.
That's how my trivia works, Jeff.
My guess is Kashyyyk, but I'm pretty sure you like actively go to Kashyyyk, right?
I'll never tell. Adam,
I believe it's Coruscant.
Derek,
I said Endor.
Jose,
Alderaan.
None of those are correct.
What?
The answer is Yavin 4.
Oh, son of a.
That's
Okay,
what it was.
so
Knew it was
hold on.
Planet from.
So-
okay.
Here's why this threw me off.
Uh-huh.
It's in the cut content.
Ah.
Oh, so you went there.
You actually get to go to Yavin 4 in the cut content. I forgot that wasn't part of the
Well,
original
that's
game.
what you
I
get for being
see.
fancy.
Shame.
Yeah. Also, speaking of mods, did you know that there's a mod which completely removes terrorists from the game, Jeff?
Yep.
That's an important mod.
Yeah.
I want that.
It gives you
Terrorism is the
the.
worst part of the game.
It gets rid of it and it gives you all the stat buffs and levels. So
Yeah.
you start in
As a Jedi,
Dantooine. Yeah, you start in Dantooine.
I should look into that. Just kidding. That game sucks ass.
All right. Well, with that, Derek wins.
I tied for second with Jose.
It's true. You did tie for second.
I am useless.
No, you just don't know a lot about random Star Wars shit.
Yeah, from a game I didn't finish. So
What was
Yeah,
the
exactly.
tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker question is how many force powers are there in the game?
Oh God.
18.
20.
30.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
It doesn't count
He's
for anything.
thinking.
Yeah.
Just say a number.
Name a woman.
26.
There are 44.
Oh,
Yoga
wow, that's
bag.
a lot.
There are 14 light, 16 universal, and 14 dark.
Cool.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I believe
Congratulations, Derek.
with that brings
I've
us
done
to
it.
the end of this episode of the Game Sharks podcast. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. You can find everything that we do on thegamesharks.com. I'm hoping to beat Resident Evil Village in the upcoming week and write my review for that. Derek's hoping to write his Returnal review sometime soon, and it sounds like Adam's ready to start his new Pokemon Snap review. So check all those out when they come up on the website, thegamesharks.com. You can find us streaming this live on Twitch Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We pushed it back an hour because I'm a dad now, and that's how life works. You can find us on YouTube if you search Game Sharks Podcast, and you can find our Instagram at Game Sharks Podcast. And lastly, you can send us an email at gamesharkspodcast@yahoo.com. You can send us any trivia questions that you have for the boys, any general topic discussions, or tell us, what did you think of KOTOR? Are you excited for the remake? Have you played it before? Is it ass? Yes, is the answer to that question. But I do believe with that, we are Finn.
Not so fast. You can also check out Jose's stream on Twitch, where he streams nearly every day at 7 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/haywire_J. You can also check out my cousin Jeff's brother Matt, who made our theme song, on Instagram at, what is it, Matt Ferrara photography.
Oh God! Well, I didn't know this was happening. I think
I think it's nice. It's
it is good to do. Let me look real
yeah,
quick.
and you can check out the Instagram of our friend Sam, who made our logo, at Slopes Art on Instagram.
It is Matt Ferrara Photography on Instagram if you want to check him out. Okay, with all of those plugs out of the way, I do believe now that we are Finn.